that. Hello.
Hello.
We're starting now.
It's always the nervous point where it's like, is the sound working?
Is the sound
working? Is the sound working?
The little orange bar is going up and down.
Well, that's good. That's handy.
We're going to assume.
I can hear myself over there.
Should turn that off.
Probably.
Okay. The build is the build just finished.
It's in your exercise bag.
Yes. Sometimes. Sometimes you.
Turn around and look at the exercise bag. Where'd that come from? That's a bit weird.
So, today we're going to look at AI, because it's cool. We're going to talk for another 30 to 60 seconds whilst this build downloads, and then we're going to play.
Hopefully. I should download it on this PC after.
Right, we can disable that little Skype. Bang. Okay.
First question, can you wash my car? No. Hey, listen.
I see, that's John texting me the time.
Thanks, John.
Appearing on my watch.
You're a pretty cool guy, John.
There was snowflakes on my watch at the moment. It's very good.
Ring-a-ling.
Man, why is it so slow?
Awfully slow.
What is this download speed? This is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
The other PC is getting 680 kilobits.
Right, well, we will answer some exciting questions whilst this downloads at a blistering speed.
If you're going to ask some questions, then please put a Q at the front of the question so that we can see it very easily.
Josh confirmed to be a cool guy.
John confirmed to be a cool guy. Josh is never a cool guy.
I can't read.
Well, yeah, obviously not.
So that does say Josh for me.
What?
Because I can't read.
It doesn't say Josh for you because it says John on the screen.
No.
It says it in very clear English.
I disagree.
I don't.
I'm the boss.
Yeah, can't argue with that. So yes, any questions about the game while we're waiting for the build to come down?
Did you tweet it? Thanks.
I did tweet.
You didn't do a Kickstarter update.
Kickstarter update.
You always do a Kickstarter update. You should do that. You've got 1 minute and 29 seconds.
1 minute and 20 seconds.
Will unit shadows be in the game at some point? We're going to try, but it will probably not work because it will be too expensive performance-wise. So something we're doing at the moment, something you'll notice in the build and notice in the patch, is that all of the visuals look a little bit off. We're halfway through working with we brought a technical artist in, essentially, to clean up a lot of the visuals in the game, to balance out a lot of the lighting, make the lighting prettier. And that's all sort of about 1/3 done. So some things are like really bright, and some things are really dark because we're sort of halfway through. So you'll see it. It's a bit weird, and trying out shadows is going to be part of that, but it's probably not going to work. It's probably just going to be too expensive and not going to happen. Is there something planned? Well, creature personality. Yes, to a degree. So something that you'll see also in this build is that units are actually going to start behaving differently in combat. So range units are actually going to start kiting around and trying to stay away, whereas more aggressive and melee units will be charging in. Some units are also going to have more idle behaviors, like some units will be scouting, like the Oculus will be scouting around now, the map. So we're starting to add little bits and pieces. And we'll hopefully be improving that over time. Is saving coming soon? Yes, in this build upcoming, we are going to have a first version of saving. There's not going to be any UI for it yet, so you're only accessing it, only able to access it through the console. And it mostly works. There are a few little bugs. and we haven't had time to polish it off yet, which is why there's no UI. It's just there in the console. We're going to be adding some UI for it later on, and obviously making sure it's bug free.
You should check your Skype.
I should check my Skype. Should I?
You should.
I have a message. Where is it? There it is. I should remind you. Oh.
I remember the second half of it, but not the first bit.
I just yeah.
Yes, don't say it.
Lee forgot the password to Kickstarter because he's a noob. That's megabytes, by the way, not megabits, so it's not bad. Double the cam size. Okay, we'll do that. Boop, boop. Okay. Build is down. Let's go. No. Okay. Bang. Where can we expect to purchase the physical copy of the game online? Any plan for retail distribution? I'm going to guess by your username that you're not in the UK. Therefore, I don't know what online stores in your country are going to be selling it. Mainly because I don't know what country you're in. Amazon UK is going to be selling it. In fact, you can already pre-order a physical copy on Amazon UK. Aside from that, I don't know. It's really going to depend entirely on your region, along with retail distribution. It's going to be in retail stores in the UK and France and Germany and South Africa and Australia. I don't know what other European countries you actually have a retail presence in. There are more, but I don't know off the top of my head. Probably the Netherlands and Belgium. That would make sense. I should know these things. But I'm bad. Okay, so... well, we have a very simple button here, the skirmish button, which we can probably just... We'll just do that. We'll just go right ahead into there. So what this does is it lets you load into a multiplayer map, and it turns AI on for the opposing player. We are going to cheat and turn off Fog of War so you can see them. So you can see, obviously, them doing their thing on the minimap. Is the game working on the stream?
I have no idea.
Nope.
Good job.
There we go.
Fluons asks Amazon maybe. I would assume that Amazon stock it. I think it's going to be one of the major ones. So Amazon
UK already stocks it. Okay, so now you can see. You can see here the red player. They've already started to build the dungeon. We also have team color on the standard dungeon floor now. It's very pretty. So they are doing their thing autonomously, artificially, and intelligently.
Apparently, you should turn on the sound for the game.
Really?
Yes,
it's on. You can see it. Is it quiet?
I think it must be very quiet because I can't hear a thing.
Okay, is the game sound better now? Yes. This is a bad shade of green on this map. I agree. Anyway.
I like that. What other game would you ever hear? This is a bad shade of green on this map. Sound is okay.
Good job. AI is ahead of me. So here you will see an example of something that's a bit too bright right now. Whereas in comparison to like the sword that hasn't been touched yet, whereas this has been touched but it's this is with our lighting that we're redoing. got this new. So we have constructs in this build. So we've got our replacement Earth. So this is unlocked for free at the very start of the game now. You can replace tiles of Earth as you want.
Where did you have the gold?
I already have the gold.
Like Josh.
A new sin has been researched.
Certainly not at the moment, you don't. Josh would also like you to know that he fixed an amazing fluorescent gold bug.
No.
That's what he told me.
Oh yes.
Defense complete.
So I'm going to sell this one. I don't want to spend money. And this AI is really good. I'll pick up a workout.
Not ignoring your questions, by the way. I'm just keeping them in our head while Josh talks. You are?
Better. Why am I? I'm worse than again. Why did I put my sword in?
I don't know. So Fluons asks, how was your experience creating your first game? Would you deal again with
Tavern
it?
unlocked.
Well, I assume we would not make our first game again. Though, I think the main question is, would we do anything differently? And I'm sure there are a lot of things we would do differently.
Yes. I think the first thing we would do is plan the game properly.
Yeah, probably be a good idea.
We didn't do that very well. At all, in any way whatsoever.
No.
I mean, we did, but like in a completely lackluster fashion. We were very short-sighted.
It would be a very different experience going into it now. I think our Kickstarter campaign will be different as well. I know a couple of our coders have told me before that code-wise we would do things a lot differently. The very code base that the game's built upon would be very different if we did it now than from what it is. But it's one of these things. It's you just get better and better.
The perception trying to turn bubble water. Whatever.
Gotta perceive the enemy. What they're doing through the fog of war.
The non-fog of war. This would normally be brimstone here. We've changed it to permafrost at the moment because the AI doesn't understand brimstone and tries to dig it and can't dig it and subsequently gets very sad. So it's now just permafrost. But it will be back to brimstone.
Let's have a look. Onoski. Sorry if this has been answered in the Wednesday update, but will there be hatred among your minions? This gets asked every single time. So you have to keep them separated to avoid fighting. Animosity between units is not something that will be added, and certainly not at the for the release of the game. I would personally like to see some more personality on the units, but actual infighting between them, it's probably not something we're going to do. The big thing is that it's just very annoying. It's something that a player shouldn't have to be thinking about all the time. No, unfortunately not. We're not going to be adding the infighting that you may have seen in other dungeon management games.
Foundry unlocked.
That's entirely Josh's decision, so you can play them.
Thanks. Oh, look, here's two new things. I didn't realise they were here yet.
Yeah, they also unlock immediately on the first level.
These two?
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh well, the Veins of Evil actually includes them, and they're the only things you can unlock.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Because they're not banned in the list. That's wonderful. Now the game's too loud. Okay.
This is what people tell us when the game sound.
There. Should probably shut the window, shouldn't we?
A new sin has been researched.
What are you looking at on that screen, Josh?
It was on Reddit.
Yes, I'm sure it was. Great job so far, really love the game. When can we expect to see or hear more sound effects like creatures grunting or the footsteps of workers and so on? This will do so much for the atmosphere. Definitely agree on it.
We agree. Something we've actually literally started doing last week. This week. It was this week, on Monday. We've started casting all of our individual units. So yes, every unit is going to have a voice.
Including Bard.
Okay, that's the end of the stream.
A new sin available to you.
God, this AI. I'm so
He
distracted
is
by the
dominating
livestream.
you. He is completely dominating
It's
you.
really convenient that the AI doesn't actually attack you yet. He only plays defensively.
Convenient.
Why did I build the tavern here? That was meant to be an archive, no a sanctuary.
Oh my god, this lad here has no idea what he's doing.
I'm really bad at this game. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's just...
Barracks unlocked.
Yeah, also one of the other things that has been will be added in the next patch is combat music. And it's actually really fun. It's dynamic, so it comes in as you're fighting and it goes away when you're not. Hence, combat music. Shock. The shock.
Who saw what that was? Let me get, what is this?
What is this?
Oh, the tooltip doesn't show up again. Go down. Here it is.
Vampire. Does that even work?
Kind of. You'll see.
you go to fight, do it, and it's just going to sit there and do nothing.
No. It does kind of work.
Kind of work. This is good. Are you planning to add, if it's not already yet, a slider to affect the AI intelligence level? Probably not a slider, but more AI personality types. So, for example, you can choose the AI to be aggressive or defensive,
or an idiot.
They
use prophecy on you as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, they use
somewhat
prophecy
inaccurate
for no particular reason over this dirt.
Oh no.
He's going for your perception shrine, which neither of you need. You need more gold to build that, John. Let me just be your advisor. You do not have enough gold.
I haven't, built any rooms.
You haven't got any gold either. Stop. Gold! Gold! Dig! There's gold on the map! Go! Good lord. Oh. Fine. Do it that way then.
Is my ritual done yet? Oh, come on! You guys are slow.
Or the ritual takes too long. Whose fault is that?
Oh, I actually forgot. There's no feedback for this yet, but...
Let me just...
You actually have to sacrifice units to summon a vampire.
See what questions I'm missing.
You've received a new sense.
AI intelligence level. How is optimization going? Will it be an upcoming patch? There will be optimization in every patch that we release.
Okay.
You can expect this patch to run better than the previous one, and likewise the patch after that.
So this cultist here is actually a vampire. He's meant to be a vampire. Hang on, we can double check if he's a vampire.
We can double check if he's a vampire. Will he eat things?
Yeah, he's a vampire. Yes, I don't know how we get him to eat. Why are the props purple?
Did you not notice that like a second ago?
No.
Okay.
This is very interesting.
This is very interesting.
Who's going to go make his name?
I'm more fascinated by this vampire who's not vampire.
The vampire is currently a cultist. So this we have to remember. This is our vampire here. Okay.
Your minions have researched a thing for you.
Okay, we should. Come on, vampire. Do things. You, vampire, eat. Do your thing. He's meant to eat units. There we go. Okay, he's eating the chunder. Bang. There you go. So the vampire eats units. He will primarily look for knocked out enemy units to eat. If he cannot find any knocked out enemy units, he will look for imprisoned units. So he'll go and eat units out of your prison. If he can't find any imprisoned units, he will get very angry, and he will just go and kill the nearest unit he finds, including if it belongs to you, and then he will eat them. So here we will see we have an... Okay, I actually don't know why they killed each other. There must be a reason.
There must be a reason why our units are just suddenly starting to kill each other.
Anyway.
So yeah, internal build, guys. This is what you get when you have an internal build. It's just bugs everywhere. It's spelled tile.
Is it?
Yeah.
Get out.
A Nothing has entered your dungeon.
Just seal your own units. Oh, it's actually the enemy's units into the wall.
Underlord,
No problem.
your dungeon core is being attacked.
Wow.
They're in my dungeon.
I remember that one time where I was playing multiplayer with Alistair and just turned the entire level into lava. That was fun.
Oh, they're attacking my dungeon. This is very rude. Vampire, kill them.
A new
I don't even know if he
sin
has
has been
abilities yet.
researched.
He appears to not have abilities yet.
He's just gonna walk past them and he's like, I'm gonna eat a unit.
Well, that's very unfortunate. Anyway, the vampire very early, as you may have noticed. What else we got? We've got the Well of Souls, which is currently a cube. Let's build.
Defense complete.
Okay, we should probably build some doors so these units stay in here. We can build our new doors.
Josh isn't going to lose because he can just
Defense
cheat.
complete.
And the AI can't.
Yeah. I'll play a proper game against the AI after this. This is demonstration. So these are our new glacial doors with fantastic artwork. So glacial doors, they start with about half health. When you close them, their health will tick upwards until it reaches max. You can see at the bottom of the screen it's ticking up. And then what it will do is it will freeze the two adjacent tiles and make them invulnerable until the door is opened again, at which place they unfreeze. So what you can do is you have... This is heavily accelerated, by the way. That process is probably going to end up taking about 5 minutes. So what this does is it rewards you for planning ahead, placing these around the edge of your dungeon, sealing them off, letting them tick up and freeze, and then you've got this super solid barrier around the edge, because these are going to be really strong and really robust once they're fully charged. Okay, Well of Souls. Well of Souls is very cool, so we're going to summon some enemies.
Your minions have researched a sin for you.
I see Nutter and Yarn are answering some questions for us. Thank you, Nutter and Yarn.
So, this should be working. Why are they not? Yes, it is working. Okay, so you can see it's doing small amounts of damage to these units. So, 0 visuals are on this right now. There would be this like pretty aura of damage. So it's slowly damaging all units around it, and it's draining the life from them, and it's storing their life force within itself. And you can click it to release the life force in the form of these wraiths. And again, there's going to be visual feedback for the amount of wraiths stored in there and blah blah blah. But at the moment, it's literally just a static cube because we've just added it in. So it's pretty cool. You can sort of stick these sort of within a wall of fortified defenses, and it will drain the life force of all the units that are coming in and attacking. And then you can click it. It can store up to 5 at once. And you click it, and bang! Out come giant wave of wraiths, and it's just kind of pretty cool. So you can see here that just this one thing has actually ended up killing them all. To be fair, they weren't hitting back. They were hitting the doors, which they shouldn't have been doing. But never mind.
Well, more appropriately, they weren't hitting the doors, which is what I noticed.
I think they were hitting the doors, but they were generating health.
I didn't see an attack animation.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh. Well, internal build.
Yes.
Yes. It's like a light version of Uprising.
Q18, make notes.
This looks outrageous.
What is wrong with the game at the moment? Well, this, and this.
Yes, many things are wrong. Let's look at some questions, shall we?
I think quite a few of them have been answered actually, but this one, Musa 32222,
It's very long.
it is very long.
Researched.
If your question is over 5 lines, then it just... I suspect this is talking about either one of the campaign levels, because it can't be the AI that's in the game now. Unless you somehow got your hands on our internal build.
Which you shouldn't have done. Unless you're really good at breakfast.
What?
Nobody will know what that means.
Well, I don't know what it means.
Okay. As for your question, I don't think I 100% understand it.
I think I know what it is.
Okay, go ahead.
So I think in the campaign levels that are in the current public build, when the dwarves appear on the first level, they go straight to the dungeon core sometimes and ignore all the units in the way.
Yes, that's because they have a forced rally flag.
Yes. So that's what's going on, forced rally flag. In the future they shouldn't do that. Hopefully. We do have a few... You want me to let him in?
No, that's fine. In a minute.
We do have a few new campaign levels coming in the new patch. We'd like to show them off, but they are horribly broken right now.
Yes.
Horribly broken.
I like how there's units trapped in...
You'll actually... Yes, that's because you trapped them in the wall.
I know.
You'll actually recognise one of the campaign levels, which is what... is it called Welcome to Kairos in the...
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
So the levels are Awakening, Welcome to Kairos, and the something...
The Breach.
The Breach.
The Breach is level 3, never seen before. In fact, no, that's a lie. Someone managed to load it in an earlier build. They managed to hack open the game and load this level. And it was ridiculously broken. It was quite funny. There's a YouTube video of it if you want to try and find it.
Really?
Yes. A while ago.
We've probably shouldn't,
Doesn't matter. It's fine.
It does matter. It does matter.
No. It's just poor worker. One is it? Yes, there's holes in these sides of the map as well.
Defran, regarding your question about changing your address for physical swag, we will be working on our backer site and getting that up relatively soon. I hope we're working on it now, and when that happens you will be able to confirm your address with us. That's where you'll be putting information for the fulfillment of all our rewards. Physical swag will only be coming after release though.
Yes. Someone asked, are units going to have names? They do, they're just not visible right now, apart from when you're in debug mode. So if you see here, I can't point at the unit and at, so it's up here. So look up here.
Trying to work out the name.
There you go.
Do the rats have names?
The rats have names.
Delicious rat.
They're currently just a few of our names randomized together. So this rat here is called Pierre New Boucher. And this rat is called Scott Boucher.
Scott Boucher.
This one is called Stefan Richmond.
And we're all delicious rats.
Indeed. Josh Richmond. There's no Josh Bishop rat.
No Josh Bishop.
So rude. Anyway, yes, units can have names. They're just not shown properly right now, and obviously there's a very small selection. The vast majority of our names are going to be coming from our backers through our backer portal, which is coming January. That's what I'm saying. Geeky Meerkats. I'm not going to justify that with an answer. Peter's a really nice guy. That's mean.
It is pretty mean.
Mean. You should be nice. What would your mother think? Right, I'm going to restart because I've broken this map. So.
Isomore, any questions please put a Q on the front so we can see them easy. How many people do you have in the WFTO team? It's around 15 people right now. As for specializations...
Is Payday still planned? I don't know. Is Payday planned, Lee?
I don't know if Payday is planned. Maybe we should talk about Payday.
Maybe we should look...
After I finish answering this question, Josh.
Look at the
rudely
log.
Rudely being answering the word. I bet it doesn't even say it. I bet it's...
There we go. It's Payday. Yeah, it was added at 7 minutes past 2 in the morning today. It is Payday. So, yeah, and the specializations, the variety of different things that everyone does in the team. I mean, we obviously have artists and coders. They're not going to cheat this time.
And I'm community manager, and Josh is the creative director of
not cheating.
And not cheating.
He's going to win this time.
He's going to attempt to win against the AI.
It's not really challenging because it's very predictable, but it's fine.
It's very predictable and it doesn't attack you.
And I know the game like the back of my hand.
Archive unlocked.
Okay, sure.
Quite literally.
Can the AI not dig out the dirt that you have put down? I'm sure it can.
No, I don't think it can because it's broken. Because
you broke it.
That
because...
was I used the debug command there to just halt it because I wanted to play around in the map to show you some things, not actually die. This time I won't break it, and you'll see it will actually eventually come and attack if I don't kill it. Maybe I'll kill it first.
I don't think you'll kill it first. Says plan. Names. I guess I said that 4 months ago. We did say that 4 months ago about the backup portal.
I know, but now it's actually coming in January.
Yes.
The thing is with the backup portal is that it's been basically it's a lower priority than everything else because the game's the highest priority at the moment. So it kept getting pushed back whilst we were working on game features, but it's slowly been happening in the background, and now it's almost ready.
Well, I know for a fact that I wrote all of the text that's going on the backup page very recently, so...
This is true if you do this.
Yes, it's coming very soon. It will come when it's... I see there no changes with the black background under health leaves. Is it hard to fix it? It's not hard to fix it, it's the fact that we're not going to be keeping those unit shields. So it's not worth fixing.
We've, like in the past 2 weeks or so, we've finally moved up to Unity 4.6, which includes Unity's new UI tools, which is specifically good at like UI bits within the scene. And that's what we're going to be using for the new unit shields, and that's basically the reason we haven't touched on it, because we've been waiting to actually get to Unity 4.6 to actually do the new unit shields with the new UI tools. That will probably be happening in January now. It's not within the scope of the current patch. But yes, I agree, it's an eyesore right now. It's one of the worst bits of the game, I think. I need to not just distract myself.
And it always shows up in screenshots.
I know.
Annoying thing.
We added specific commands to disable
yes,
because it looks so bad.
And for the trailer videos and everything, there's just disable unit shields. I know I was asking if there was anything more planned to it. Oh, planned payday? I don't think there's anything more that payday. Units get paid on payday.
Well, this ring fills up.
Yeah.
Payday happens.
Yes.
That's payday.
Yes.
What more do you want?
Well, yeah. That's what I was saying, Josh. God.
Shut up, me.
Should. Yes, boss. You got it, boss. Will there be ways to recycle money out of monsters? We're considering putting something like that to the tavern, I think.
No, we definitely are.
We definitely are putting that to the tavern, I think. According to Josh, who just said that right now. So
there's a ticket for it and everything.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the ticket for it.
It's so bad.
Okay, so yeah, the tavern is going to recycle money, so it also adds another reason for why you might want to have a tavern in the dungeon. And being essentially, as you see there, tier 1 on the Veins of Evil, or tier 2, more appropriately, it's very easy to get, so it'll help you just survive those paydays a lot longer. It means we can increase the price of payday. Because if you don't have a tavern, you're really going to be costing yourself.
Exactly. We actually don't want payday to actually impact the balance of the game that much. It's mainly to feel nice and make the units have sort of more agency and feel more alive. So, as Lee says, once you actually have a tavern, the net cost of payday is going to be pretty negligible. Without a tavern, you'll notice it. But with a tavern, it'll just feel cool.
And it'll be like the tavern returns you money over a set amount of time. So you'll still get the drop, but it'll all come back to you. Not all of it, but a lot of it. I saw a question just then. I can't think what it was because it's gone off the screen now. Thanks, Josh. I need a scrolly thing. Good.
Put it up on the other.
I do have it up on the other thing, but I'm not keeping up with it. I was asking if it was files, recycled money. Will there also be elite monsters with unique skins and abilities? No, there won't. So there will be special boss versions of certain Empire
A
units,
Skarg has entered your
but they're not
dungeon.
attracted in any specific way or anything like that. The main thing is it didn't really add that much to the game, and it was very vague, not very interesting to us, so that's one of the reasons we're not doing
I
that.
have no idea how you spell it.
Spell what?
The boss name.
Rusimov.
Yeah, but I don't know if we did like Lord or whatever. We'll find the boss units. And save them afterwards.
Isn't it just Juggernaut boss?
Maybe.
Juggernaut underscore boss. I don't know. It's not.
A new sin is available to
So
you.
poor. So poor.
A Skarg has entered your dungeon.
Will the fog of war close in on you again, or you will be able to see all enemy units in every space you've already seen? The fog of war does come back.
Undermine. Unlock.
Wherever your units cannot gain line of sight, then the fog of war will be there. So, yeah, kind of important to keep your scouting up.
A Bafu
And
has
in particular,
entered your
the
dungeon.
control of perception shrines is very useful for dispelling the
A
fog of war.
cultist has entered your dungeon.
Is he going at this one?
He might have done it. No, he's not got it yet. I have seen them go and get it, and go for the portals as well. It's a little.
They go for portals. I know that.
Yeah, I think maybe they just got the perception shrines on the way to the
Shadows entered
portal.
your dungeon. Your
No, it's not.
minions have researched a new
Will there
sin
be
for you.
romances in the game? Everybody has a romance with the Chunder. It's a big.
I think there's gold in this tile. There is gold. This one tile has gold. How
Better
bizarre.
get it. It's an objective, Josh.
How bizarre.
Secure the gold. Secure the gold.
It's not the white.
A new sin is available to you.
Yes. So what was I saying? It's me and my friend. Will we finally be able to reinforce walls in possession mode? You can actually do that right now.
Can you?
Yes, you can.
Your minions have researched a
Do you
sin
know that?
for you.
No.
Possessing him. Do it. Possess a worker.
Why would I do that?
Well, you can demonstrate it working. And then,
In fact, I want
when
to
it
demonstrate-
doesn't work, it'll be really funny because I
A
just said
shadow
it.
has
I'll
entered your
demonstrate
dungeon.
scouting. So
A crackpot has
Yeah, if
entered
you
your
right
dungeon.
click, you should be able to fortify walls with the worker
You've received
possession
a
mode
new
and
sin.
claim
actually, I
tile.
don't think I can demonstrate scouting on this map.
Yeah, you definitely can because I thought, oh, you know what, that's really cool that we can do that.
Do what?
Fortify walls.
Oh, yeah.
Actually do useful things in possession.
I love Cell. This is about evil and hatred of this game.
You've
Oh,
received a new
enemies. Enemies.
Somebody saying, oh, okay.
Go.
Boom, universe loves me. Bye bye, Nutter. Question from Lord of River. Who is going to voice the bard? Who is going to voice the bard, Josh?
complete.
I have a question for Lord River. When are you going to have an original, interesting question?
Oh,
An octopus has
burn!
entered your dungeon.
By the
Your
way,
minions
that is why
have
we
researched
added
a new
Replacement
sin
Earth as a
for
construct
you.
at the start of the game.
Because of voice of the bard.
No. Because one of the least nice things about the way, oh dear god, the way this game works in multiplayer is once a dungeon is breached, unbreaching is really hard. So we wanted to add a way that allowed you to sort of quickly patch up if you sort of, you know, bumped into an enemy somewhere on the map, and that allows you to do that. However, it appears that
A new
we have
sin
bumped
has been
here,
researched.
although he is recalling his army for some bizarre reason. His Oculus appears to be going for a little scout into his death.
Zap zap.
Oh no! It's
A
crackpot, they're really OP
shadow
at the moment and woefully unbalanced. Okay, let's just...
It's just their big apocalypse potion,
I know.
or whatever it's called. Big bad potion? I don't remember what it's
Potion
called.
of Mass Destruction.
Potion of mass destruction. That was it. Should be potion of mutually assured destruction.
Oh dear god.
He's got more units than you.
Probably does.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna win.
I don't know.
Octopus has entered your dungeon.
I've got 2 crackpots. It's all right.
Countess has entered
He's recalling half his army.
Yeah.
What is this?
Martin Peters was saying this actually. That the AI is recalling units for some reason when they get too far away from the dungeon crawl.
It really helped me because I got to kill half his army.
It's very strange.
Thanks, AI.
Okay, another question we get, and I can't read your name because Twitch has decided you have a white name against a white background.
No, you choose the colour of your name.
You choose the colour of your name? I've never chosen the colour of my name. You're a very rude person having a white name, so I can't read it. Another question that gets asked all the time, will there be some kind of random map generation? The short answer is no. And the long answer is also no. But the reason for that is... I don't know why it's 4,000 gold, probably because you've got to change it. The reason for that is it's very hard to generate a random map that is fun to play in a strategy game. Random maps for games...
Oh, no. It's in a game like this because of how ridiculously impactful the terrain is on the game.
Yes.
Like, the problem is, if you just, like, literally did pure random, it would not work.
It'd be very hard. You could balance it by probably making it so it generates half a map and then just mirrors it.
Avarice doesn't work at all, it doesn't do anything.
Avarice doesn't work at all.
No.
Q18, Avarice doesn't work. Bug report. Thank you. So, yeah, random maps, no. You never know, maybe in the future we could implement it as part of the map editor. It could generate random terrain, and then you can tweak it as you see.
What is this AI? It's too strong. Oh my god. It's too strong for me.
Fog of War, I already answered the Fog of War question. I mentioned about romances and laughed about it.
I do believe that I've probably lost to this AI.
So, user free 22222, probably not that many twos, asked, I saw the shadow unit when you pick it up with your hand, it covers a lot of the screen area, which can be annoying. Will you decrease the amount of shadow this unit releases after you pick it up? This is going to be something that... yeah, quite a lot.
What do you mean? I think this is fine.
I think this is Nocturne, isn't it?
Yes.
Darkness! Yes, it'll be fixed, but it'll be fixed by the whole hand and picking up units and dropping units being
Stefan
reworked
says
anyway.
he's about to push an even harder version of the AI.
An even harder version of the AI.
I have to beat this one first.
Stefan is just pushing an AI that cheats as much as you do.
I have to not
is what he's
distract
doing.
myself. Anyway, we're going to do it one more time, and I'm literally just going to ignore the chat.
Give it up, Josh. You're not going to win.
I will win.
So yeah, Shadow, that's going to be fixed.
What will you replace Health Shield with? It's going to just be a new Health Shield. It's just going to look not shit, basically. That's probably the easiest way to put it. Okay, so
Enoshki, will there be unlimited income sources like gem veins in other popular dungeon builder games?
See, they know.
They know. They get it.
They know how to answer these questions.
Okay, so unlimited gold sources. There are a few that you can use in this game. For example, there is a ritual called Avarice, which will change your mana into gold over time while it's being enacted. There is also blood money, which allows you to turn either any sort of units, imprisoned units, or your own units into gold and have your units mine them. What else is there? There's gold shrines, which when you capture them you can tag and dig for an unlimited amount of time, but not as powerful as certain tiles in other popular dungeon management games. Is there anything else? Blood money?
I don't know what you said.
I said blood money, avarice, gold shrines,
Transmutation potion.
transmutation potion. Apparently that's a tongue twister. Transmutation potion. Transmutation potion. When you drop it on tiles, it will turn them into gold tiles. So this is something that, and then surely you can make replacement replacement dirt, and then turn them into gold.
Yeah, we're gonna need to.
However, no,
cost prohibitive.
If you make it so that replacement earth is like 1,000 gold.
Yeah, it's gonna be about 1,000 gold each, so it's gonna be too cost prohibitive.
It would be too cost prohibitive to do that.
It's already cost prohibitive.
Yeah. So it'll turn a 3x3 area into gold. At the moment, it just turns one block into gold. But it will be a 3x3 area, and it will be something like, I think, 8,000 split across 9 blocks. So it's about utilizing space. So all of these things, in a way, require you to sacrifice something or gain control of something. Avarice requires you sacrifice mana, blood money requires you sacrifice units, and transmutation requires that you sacrifice tiles. Or dirt, specifically.
Transmutation, isn't good to use when you are trying to defend yourself, because you literally have to dig walls in the edge of your territory, which isn't safe. Similarly, avarice, risky to use, because when you take on avarice, you don't have mana for about 30 seconds.
Your minions have researched
you can't defend yourself with any spells. So yeah, they all have drawbacks.
A cultist has entered your dungeon. Sanctuary unlocked.
User 32222 keeps asking a lot of questions.
Why did I do that? I can't use avarice.
Are you planning to do a multiplayer lobby where you can meet players, chat them, and group up? There will be a multiplayer lobby. I don't know whether we got any plans for a sort
of a public multiplayer lobby.
Public chat.
I don't think we do. I think the closest thing to that is going to be Steam, the official Steam group chat, which we could probably make more visible within the game. I think we might be able to have a button that launches it directly from the game. We could try that.
Could we not embed it into it?
I don't think we can do that.
That would be a shame. It's a shame. That would Steam. Okay, so there's your answer for that one. Satan, with the more advanced things many games now feature, like and/or triggers, etc., for controlling traps, will you have something similar for setting up trap chains? Our defences do not work like that. Our defences are more active proponents, less passive. So you tend to have a little bit more of a active role in how your defences work. Josh, you're probably better doing that one than me, but you're focusing on the game, aren't you? Trying to. You should stop reading the chat. So, for example, every single defense that we have has a clickable component. For example, the bombard, if you click it, it will overcharge it, which means it takes damage over time, but fires twice as fast.
It takes damage over time, it takes damage every time it fires.
Every time it fires, it takes damage. So if you're not paying attention to it, it will kill itself. And does it explode and do damage? Is that? I think it should explode and do damage around it too. And then it kills the other bombards.
Have researched this in for you.
Who did this? Who did this?
Who did this?
It's Jack.
What have you done, Jack?
What is this? This is all broken.
All of our doors require either have an open or a closed state, and this means it will let any unit through or no units through. The Bone Chiller has an active component in that it charges up over time, and you click it, it releases a Frost Nova that freezes units in place and does frost damage, which does a lot of damage to Ember Demons as of the next patch. So yeah, more active components on the individual traps rather than setting up trap chains or anything like that. Part of the reasons is that the fences cost you mana. A lot of them cost you mana. So it's not so much setting up a load of traps, more utilising them well and paying attention. A little bit of micro, but they do still work without the micro, apart from doors. Doors sort of require you to pay a little bit of attention. Again, because we want the fences to be more interesting. Let's have a look. What's next? More specific, Jeff. How many hours of gameplay will be at initial release of War for the Overworld? Will there be a skirmish mode for multiple player or quick play? For a quick play. Yes, skirmish mode is going in the next patch, and this is what Josh is actually playing right now. He's playing a skirmish against the
super tough AI.
Super tough. Well, no, the super tough AI is next.
God, I'm scared.
you know we're going to beat this normal one. So this is the very first implementation of our AI.
I will prevail.
So yeah, that'll be in the next patch for you to play. As for on initial release, we're expecting, I don't know, are we saying how many campaign levels there are going to be?
Entered your dungeon.
Sure. 14. 13.
13 campaign.
14 is more of an epilogue.
Yes, the 14th level is like a little epilogue, sort of playable cutscene. So yeah, there will be 13 campaign levels. And we'll say maybe an average of an hour per level, give or take, especially for your first time through. So it'll be reasonable. It's something we want to expand on, but I think that's be good enough for our first release. Oh my god, so many questions. Questions. So. No ski again. Will each unit type have their own individual type of sleeping bag? So you can just look in your sleeping chamber to see how many you have of each.
Sleeping bag.
Sleeping bag. Yeah. I prefer to call it into their own lair. Intelligent units currently do have their own lair. Not all of them have it yet, but they will all have a unique lair, apart from maybe a couple of the Empire units, I think, to share. And a plan to share certainly for the initial release. Beasts, I don't know whether we're giving beasts unique beds. I think it'd be nice because the beast pen
don't create layers.
Yeah, I know. But it looks a bit bare. So yeah, intelligent units certainly will have their own bed. Question, will you ever animate the icons of runes, spells, alchemy and so on? Probably not.
No.
Animation draws the eye too much. I think it'd probably be better if we leave it as easy as possible. Will it be possible to build a bridge starting selection from the tile? Will it be possible to build a bridge starting selection from the tile that is not connected to your territory, but one of the selected tiles is connected to it?
Oh, maybe. I haven't thought about that. I understand. Yeah.
You understand?
I don't know how to reword it. No, not right now. Not whilst the AI is beating you.
Beating you most horrendously.
My units are really scared or something.
Oh, and yes, Enoski, you saying this, I bet this is an easy AI. This is the very first implementation of AI in the game.
Maybe I'm just really bad.
So, I don't think the AI is just really good. I think Stefan has made this horrific,
hyper-efficient
monster. The most efficient thing. It's just German efficiency all over. It's terrifying.
Yeah, maybe I should not be going for perception shrines, because I don't know, I don't build for like early fights, and he just goes right for them, and then I'm like screwed, and it's really lame. Bloody hell! He's losing life.
Defron asks, will the Bloodling ever make a return?
Nope.
Nope.
Bloodling.
Fuck the Bloodling. I really like Bloodling. I think he should come back.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna win this time.
I think there's always scope for maybe something with Bloodling mechanics to make an appearance in a future release for War for the Overworld. Forward scope. Leave the door open, Josh. Leave the door open.
No. Then the enemies get into your dungeon.
Well, yeah, it's pretty bad if the enemies get to your dungeon, but I like the Bloodling. I agree with you, Defrin. The Bloodling should make a full and glorious return.
Can't beat my own game against this hyper-efficient machine.
It's like playing chess against a computer. It's like no master has ever beaten a chess computer for years. This is what Stefan's made. It's a
no, I won't play the other map. It's not fair on the AI because the AI doesn't understand the terrain, so I'm not playing the other map. That is genuinely cheating.
They're really awesome. I saw the multiplayer lobby one. Animated icons. Scorpmaster asks, is there anything planned to avoid the one big battle that decides the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think the second game I played, you noticed that we did actually have a few skirmishes before I decided that I'd given up. It wasn't that I'd lost those battles that I felt that I'd lost a match. It was mainly that I just hadn't been paying enough attention to building my dungeon, and I had seen his dungeon, obviously, because Pogor was turned off. And he was just infinitely ahead of me. Because I wasn't, just like now, I'm not actually doing anything.
Beast Den unlocked.
But first of all, one of the things you're doing that you shouldn't be doing is building all these 5x5 rooms at the start.
Nope.
As what we've learned from Stefan's hyper-efficient AI, you should build small 3x3 rooms, not AI, including gold, because the gold takes longer to dig.
The AI that's beating me, they start with 3x3 rooms.
And then expand them out to 5x5, and it's so clever. And when I saw it, I was like, what the hell is it doing? And it was just like, oh my god. Stefan, you are a scary, scary man. So, yes. Glitch name, my turbo. Oh. Apparently, the guy with the white name has a glitch name from his turbo, which means his name is constantly white. Good God, Twitch. You're the meanest. So if you cancel your turbo account, no one can read your name ever again. Is that how it works? Yeah, I already answered the question about unlimited gold sources. What will you replace the health shield with? A bigger, better health shield. Yeah, pretty much that. Next question. Will creatures be stunned for a moment after you drop them? Maybe. Maybe. Not. Don't keep it to excessiveness, but. Are we allowed to say those words? Yeah, whatever. Okay. Not DK2 excessiveness.
A new sim available to you.
I think balancing picking up and dropping is always something that's going to be quite difficult because it is extremely powerful, the ability to instantly teleport some units from one place to another.
Actually, saying that, you can only actually hold 5, or is it 10, combat units at once. Basically, holding combat units actually locks up mana in your bar, so when you drop them, you actually have a cooldown on when you can pick units up or cast spells.
Your minions have researched
and it is quite nasty because you see at the moment the mana bar currently has 525 mana. By the way, you should get more sins.
Outrageous.
The AI has already got his sins.
AI instantly.
Arena unlocked.
AI. And the locked area is locked a bit by workers at the moment, but if you pick up units, it locks it with your hand as well. And when you drop them, that mana doesn't regenerate instantly.
So like here, pick up. You can see it's skip.
So it's going to cost you that mana for a little bit, and that might affect how you go into battle. You won't be able to cast down lightning instantly, for example, or you might be able to cast one.
Prophecy used
Yosharian asks, will there be a map editor with the game?
Entered your dungeon.
Sure. A question that's asked all the time. we really want to include a map editor with the game, and I'm fairly sure a basic map editor will be no problem. It's getting a map editor that has all the features that we'd want it to have for great community content. At the moment, maps are made in Unity itself, and obviously it's probably not such a good idea if you have to buy Unity Pro or Unity Pro license to make a map, and on top of that have access to our source code. We don't want that. Not only because it's probably not something you want to see, but yeah, map editor, we really want to do it, and we'll certainly be looking into it. In fact, at this very moment, you might have seen earlier on in the stream, Josh actually changed the terrain in real time. That's something you can actually do right now with the debug commands. So again, basic functionality, not hard. Scripting, stuff like that, a little bit harder. So we'll see. Definitely we'll see. But yes, is the short answer. There will be something, at the very least.
A Skarg has entered your dungeon.
Why does like random stuff team colored look like this single wall tile?
I don't know. This
A new sin.
don't ask questions, Josh. I find it best not to ask questions. No, there are currently no plans. Question: will you get to choose the colour of your dungeon before matches?
Yes.
Yes, you can actually do that in the multiplayer lobby right now.
Yeah, it's not enabled for skirmish.
No, it's not enabled for skirmish right yet. And on top of that, not only do you get to choose the colour, you get to choose the theme as well, which includes a lot of different dungeon cores, workers, tiles, and walls, etc. It just makes the dungeon look a lot different. You should enact the avarice ritual.
It doesn't work.
You should enact the avarice ritual.
It doesn't work.
You should enact the avarice ritual. Whose fault is it that it doesn't work, Josh?
Not me.
I'm pretty sure it's not worked for a while. Come to think of it, I don't remember it working when we were EGX. Maybe it's just one of the easiest ones to get broken. I don't know. Anuski says, if you look to the west of your dungeon core, there is a type of tile that looks rock more than dirt, but your imps can mine it. What is that? That is... What is that? What is that called? The
Permafrost?
no, I don't think it's the permafrost. It was the other one, the sand?
Sand.
Sand, yeah, sand.
A new sin.
Sand. Sand is just soft. Yeah, it doesn't look very good right now. All the terrain is going to be updated.
Yeah, it's a placeholder art, but it's sand. Very quick to dig, very
An
soft.
Oculus has entered your dungeon.
I think that was something we covered in a couple of WFTO Wednesdays ago, actually. If I remember correctly, we had a little video showing off the digging speed through
Yes.
various things. So, sand, yes. Sand cannot be 45, I'm pretty sure sand be 45.
I can't remember. I haven't decided if I want it to be yet. I don't know what it
An
is at the moment.
Oculus has entered your
I've
dungeon.
changed it back and forth a couple of times, I know that.
Section of plus. In the campaign of a other popular
entered your dungeon.
dungeon management
You
game.
do shit, please.
No.
Why? What is why?
Tavern unlocked.
Maybe he wants to do something else. Maybe he wants to go and look at that wall. I don't know. There were mini games that you could unlock. We're not talking about Easter eggs. You didn't build a slaughter pen.
A
Oh my
necromancer
God,
has
Josh.
entered
I'm
your
so
dungeon.
good. Oh.
Your
Stefan could have
mage
programmed an AI that
for
just
you.
didn't do anything and it'd beat you.
That's the thing, I have no audio. I don't know if it's complaining at me or not. Not that we have. This is not working.
Oculus.
Yeah, the arena's broken, man.
I've been investing loads of money into the arena every single game.
This is why you should read the tickets that are currently on the bug tracker.
Damn it. God damn it.
You can ask Nano when that's going to be fixed. It is fixed now.
I'm so poor.
A Skarg has entered your dungeon.
Defran asks, when is the minimap getting an update?
Before launch, maybe, possibly. We'll see.
Before launch. Maybe.
A Gnarling has entered your dungeon.
I think one of the questions, I actually have a question. Are we going to do a big version of the minimap? Like a full screen version? You know that thing that you didn't actually know was in another popular Dungeon Manager game?
I knew it was there.
No, you didn't. You told me you didn't. I think that would be ready. When is the minimap getting an update?
Has entered your dungeon.
Yeah, no derpy room setups to summon champions. What's wrong with the 8-bit?
A cultist has entered your dungeon.
Yeah. Power for the 8-bit minimap.
It does show off a bit more. It could probably do with being a bit higher resolution, but you know, it shows off enough. And it's clear, that's the thing, it's clear.
Retro.
Retro.
For you old school gamers, yeah.
Old school gamers. How long will the stream go on for? For as long as we can not fall asleep, and as long as people still have questions, or we get tired of answering them.
Being attacked ruthlessly by a single imp.
Inosuke says, Josh, can you play a map with some goody two-shoes so we can hear you fight the bard? Just summon bards.
A fire.
More bards. More bards. He's gonna slap a bard. Sacrifice him! Oh. Poor bard. The bard gets no love from Josh. The bard gets no love at all. I'd like to be able to catch up so I don't have to keep looking over here for questions. Will you always be able to see the summoning portal sticking out of the dirt when you haven't found it yet, or is it a graphical issue right now?
Okay.
What? It's a bug. It's a bug!
Sanctuary unlocked.
Yeah, me too.
Foundry unlocked.
Go team! That bug's not fixed. Remind me so I can go find it.
For you.
Unless it is fixed and he's talking about a current public build. Because I've not really been paying attention to what you've been doing. Thermos says, when can I expect to get kicked in the ass by the AI? Before the end of the year. Unless you want to give something more definitive. Before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year.
Yeah.
There will be a build on the purchasing branch in a couple of days. Hopefully sometime this weekend. Maybe today. No, definitely not.
Not today.
Sometime this weekend.
It's not ready. It's not ready. Look at that! Look at that! Look what's going on with these wall
I know, there's holes everywhere. That's okay. They don't want to attack this soft wall here. The AI doesn't comprehend that. They must take the efficient route through the impenetrable permafrost.
This is how we beat them. This is how we beat the machine. We make permafrost everywhere.
They are slowly getting through.
A gnarling has entered your dungeon.
What to do about that?
I must take the shortest path, the most efficient path.
Gotcha.
I will go as the crow flies. I will not deviate.
Garrison unlocked. Fortify unlocked. A new sin has been researched.
Some kind of alarm defense, combat alerts. Meh, boring.
Combat alerts, yeah, that happens.
Yes, but not an alarm defense.
No.
That's it. That seems fairly useless when you're just being alerted to everything that's attacking you anyway. And then you can just place a rally flag down and go.
Who has entered your dungeon?
Go kill them. Question: will the rooms be more efficient if they have structure inside, like feeding pens having a house of piglets, for example? I don't think the slaughter pen works without its prop, does it? No. So the slaughter pen doesn't even work if you've not got the house.
Your dungeon.
It only spawns piglets if you have micro piglets if you have the slaughter pen house. Likewise, all rooms that have props require the prop to work. And the more props they have, the more work can take place there.
Should probably build a foundry.
A shadow has entered your dungeon.
Question: what are the options you can expect
Your
after
minions have researched a sin for you.
What are the options you can expect after the creature is tortured for a long time? So the torture chamber has two modes on its props. It will either kill the unit that is being tortured, or it will convert the unit that is being tortured. If you kill the unit, it becomes a spirit, which can then either be used as a scout, or it can be used in the spirit chamber. And the spirit chamber is very cool, because the unit will retain all its experience, and then you can imbue that experience into another unit through the spirit chamber. Spirits have any other purpose? In the spirit chamber and the scouting? I don't think they do.
A ghoul has been risen in your crypt.
No.
A chunder has
Good.
entered your dungeon.
They look cool. I didn't think they did. Just making sure.
A ghoul has
oh dear
been
God.
risen in your crypt.
The Squawkmaster asks, is there a way to defend your dungeon after your frontal defences have fallen? Yes, you have less frontal defences. Or you do what I did in a multiplayer game on our last live stream with Josh, which was to place down a load of defences and then use the assembly ritual to instantly build them all and just surprise your opponent.
That requires money.
It requires money,
I'm very
and
poor.
it requires you to be ready with the assembly ritual.
A chunder has entered your
Still
dungeon.
going. It's alright, I beat him this time. I beat his army. I funneled it round here through a choke point, as opposed to a diagonal where I wasn't able to do it.
Noski asks, will you be able to choose a theme for the campaign, or will that be fixed? For the campaign, it will be fixed. The main reason is you play a specific character and story, and the character's appearance as an underlord is this.
Your minions.
Likewise, you will be meeting other underlords through the campaign, who will all have their own unique themes. That's what a theme is. It's a representation of an individual underlord or an empire faction, for example. So yeah, no, the theme will be fixed. I think in the past we've considered the possibility of allowing it to be changed if you've completed the campaign.
No.
Yes, we've considered it. Yes, we've considered it. I could, if you want, I can go to the forums and find the exact post where you said that.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
So we're probably not doing that, according to Josh.
Run away.
Let's have a look. What's the next question?
Run away. Run away. No. No, no. No. Littered with corpses.
Hackatera says, you two guys are really cute. When do we go on a date together? Hey, how are you doing?
Who said that?
Hackatera.
A ghoul has been raised in your crypt.
It is a little bit back.
Has risen in your
Sorry, it took me a
crypt.
very long time to get to you. I'm actually off screen now because I'm blushing. Thank you very much for that. Wrinkly Prune asks, will the animation of the cursor hand holding the creature...
Oh, the cursor is being redone.
Yes, the cursor has been completely redone, the hand has been completely redone. And when that happens, yes, it will hold the unit in the hand and just going, next question. Will there be multiplayer against the AI in the future?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Good. Do it. Question, is it already fixed that sometimes units won't fights after you drop them into the pit. I think we actually had that bug like 5 minutes ago on the stream.
So apparently it's not.
So no, it's not fixed. And we didn't actually know it was in the public build either.
So
I thought it was only in our current internal one. So it surprises me that it is. Judge, I really like the creature art in the UI. I hope the rest of the buttons in the UI will get as much love. I think the rest of the buttons in the UI look perfectly fine. I think they had plenty of love. As a matter of fact, all the art in the UI is done by one of our fantastic concept artists. So yeah, it's all done by the same person.
Shit.
Question: will you play multiplayer today?
We could do a multiplayer.
I suppose we could do a multiplayer.
We were going to do a multiplayer game where we had AI turned on for both of us, so we had to
AI assistant. I think we'd be much better at the game if we have this AI turned on. Actually, he's a bit of a beast. River says we're not the people for fixing bugs, we are for reporting them. Yes, we're finding bugs. Please report them. Thank you. Question from user 32222222. I've added a 2 onto his name every time I said it. We got almost end of December and you are planning to release the game in February. There's still many basic mechanics to implement and fix. You think you can fix them on time to release a quite playable game? Yeah, there won't be a problem releasing the game around February.
something wrong with that.
What you're seeing issues, but a lot of the core mechanics of the game and
oh no,
what you're really looking at is the kind of state I think that a game will be in for most companies at this point. I mean, yeah, there shouldn't be a problem. We're very confident that we'll get the game done. In fact, if you look at where the game was just a couple of months ago, shut up, Nami. Why am I permanently? Hi, Toby. Yeah. No, a lot of core features are going in now, and we'll definitely be ready for it. Don't you worry about that.
I'm just gonna keep healing.
Let us worry.
This Chandra is gonna win.
This Chandra's gonna win.
Got it, Chandra. Let's go.
You're going to possess him. That's the worst idea you've ever had. The worst idea. Though I do adore the game from possession view. It looks amazing.
I'm just gonna hide around here. It's like the hot gate. He's gonna stand in this room and kill all the units.
Question.
Oh dear God.
Question: is there a way to forbid minions from going somewhere to prevent them from trying to take enemies' tile all the time? It's somewhat.
Funny you should ask.
That's a very funny question. We have a spell called Impasse, or more appropriately a rally command called Impasse, which prevents your workers from putting claim actions on tiles.
Go Chandra, go! You can
so
do it.
Yes, you can place a flag that prevents your workers from trying to claim a 3x3 area. Yes, we recognise it as a really annoying thing.
I'm just gonna add this guy to one rally.
The boss rally group.
Come on, Chunda. Let's go. This guy is a beast.
I always knew it would be a Chunda that won this game.
This guy is a total beast. We've got this, Chunda. He just killed the Necromancer on his own. He's killing everything. Oh, too good.
Wrinkly Dream says, I just want to say that you guys are great with keeping the community informed. Hats off.
I can't even see.
We don't have any hats.
There he is.
I'm not sure what stream you're watching, but hats have not been a part of this stream the entire time.
Shit.
So we're not taking any hats off. But thank you.
There's some more issues here. Like, I don't know.
Some horrible issues, like this Chunda being indestructible.
Not doing any damage. But no, yeah. Yeah, okay, we got it. This Chunda is winning the game.
Oh dear. Deference says...
Oh dear God, you just like walk into the pool of them. Ah, no! My Chunda!
User 322222222 asks, which unit is the most powerful? Which unit is the most powerful?
Of all the units I have left alive, which isn't very many. Let's see what I got.
No, I think just in general. In the game.
Oh, so obviously the super units are the most powerful.
The vampire?
Yeah, beyond that it is the vampire.
The vampire and super units.
That Chunder was an absolute beast.
He was a bit of a beast. Unfortunately,
he literally carried this game. I was like, it was like an Akali with 23 kills. No deaths.
Well, Yoris has already answered that question. Did you see that one? I think
it's my crackpot. There it is. Rage the crackpot.
Question from Anushka. Are you mainly going to be fighting other Underlords in the campaign? Aren't you going to be kicking some goody two-shoes?
There's something really weird going on here. There's like all these units, they are stuck here and the vision doesn't go past it. There's like, I don't know what's going on. There's like some weird vision wall here. You see this?
Yes.
It's all dark.
Maybe he's casting Eclipse.
No, that's not in the game anymore. Nor does it work that way.
It's a shame. The campaign, I would actually say you're probably going to be fighting the Empire more than you are rival Underlords.
Yes, most certainly you'll be fighting the Empire.
The story is you fighting the Empire, but you are going to come across other Underlords. And in some cases, they may not even be your enemies.
Maybe your allies.
Maybe.
Oh no! Hyper-efficient lightning use. He literally just did kill everything apart from this focus. Snarling.
Curse you, efficiency!
Go on, let's see if this Snarling can be as cool as that Chunder. I mean, no one can be as cool as that Chunder, because that Chunder was the best thing.
What will happen if creatures will not eat, or will be sad for a long time? Will it turn against you, or leave your dungeon? Units that are unhappy for a long time?
They, at the moment, they don't leave. They might leave. We'll definitely add relief, I think. They can rebel and get angry, and they will basically start fighting with it until they're crazy. This is really bugged up here.
It is really bugged up. I really like the red stand.
I know, it looks really cool, doesn't it?
It's really annoying. Really annoying how the red dungeon
This is such a mess in whatever's going on. We got a crackpot. Yeah.
I'd quite like to see the orange one actually, because the orange cover is really nice.
He's not
all the people who are saying that we're good at keeping you informed, that is one of the things we've always wanted to do. Just us. And this is something we're going to continue doing for as long as we operate. Community is incredibly important to us. I should know, it's my job. So, as long as you're happy, that means that I'm doing my job right.
A scar has entered your dungeon.
Let's have a look.
Let's possess the shadow.
Question, how easy will it be to mod in for War for the Overworld, like say putting in your own level spells units? Modding, not really going to be very easy, I'm afraid. Mod support, something we would have loved to have, it's not going to happen. And I'm telling you that now, just so you're aware. That's not to say that people won't mod the game, people always mod games, and we'd be excited to see what people can come up with, but we're not going to be providing mod tools.
Yes, Ninja.
I think
sneaked in invisibly.
With the map editor, I think if we were going to be able to do it a bit more in depth, we were going to add the potential for some mutator creation, maybe. But we'll see. We'll see what we can do. We'll try and do our best for you to create your own stuff. But there's only so much we can do with what we got. Question, will the rally flags be moved to someplace more accessible, like the bottom of the screen? Or more attached to rally flags? I think it's going up at the left-hand side.
Yeah, we're actually working on our next iteration of the UI. It's far less urgent. Oh god, they keep like walking in because they can't see this. I don't know what this is here. Something's going on. They keep walking in and dying. Let's cancel that one. Right, what do we?
You were saying about the next iteration of the UI.
Yes, we have some artwork we will show you after this level.
Pretty cool. Show me.
A gnarling has entered your dungeon.
Good to know. TOI. Question: did you just have hear a fairy torture that? I think they're talking about your phone.
That's my phone. Yes.
That's Josh's phone.
What on earth is going on here?
Question: will there be fairies? Have you noticed that there's no VFX on the beast?
Okay.
Then prop.
There's a necromancer here. He is like, I think he's beneath the map.
Can you pick him up?
Yeah. When I try and pick him up, my picking breaks.
Oh dear. Sculptmaster.
I'm gonna try building.
I'm not sure what question that was. Question. Will it be more fast-paced gameplay than what we're seeing now? Because from what I remember, certain other Dungeon Management game was a lot more fast when it came to battles, which felt awesome and chaotic at the same time.
Combat really does need some work, I do agree.
Yes.
Okay, I think my necromancer is lost.
Combat is going to get another pass.
Bafu has entered your dungeon.
They will permanently guard, I guess.
Certainly, we're actually implementing creature personalities in combat. So each unit will behave differently in combat. Like the ranged units will try and keep at range rather than trying to get themselves killed.
I don't think they are deliberately trying to get themselves killed, Lee. That's very mean.
I think they're deliberately
intentionally
trying to
thieving.
Yeah, I think they're intentionally walking into the swords. So, are you planning to use your...
An Oculus has entered
really
your
annoying.
dungeon.
Okay, Overused Tutoy asks, in a certain other Dungeon Management game,
Yeah, I'm going to summon myself a new necromancer, this is not bad.
the walls and floors had a lived-in look, and no straight lines,
has
for
entered your
instance.
dungeon.
Is it your intention to keep each tile's dimension so perfectly square, also adjustable wall height?
What the first?
A Skarg has entered your dungeon.
So the big thing is the games of the past had really simple meshes on the walls, really simple. That meant it was really easy to deform them in a way that didn't affect performance. Whereas our walls, for example, especially the dungeons walls, are much more complex, and deforming them would cost resources. It would just be too much of a performance impact to deform them in such a way. As for the standard terrain, we are actually going to be the blackness from the shadow. We are going to be implementing new standard terrain in a lot of cases, which should make it a little bit less linear and uniform. But ultimately, there's only so much we can do on that. The game, the engine, isn't designed for that sort of behaviour. So, unfortunately not, is the answer. User 322222222. Are you planning to add something like a special title hero? I mean, like a red-horned... Is anyone seen Dungeon Lords? Because I'm really surprised about how that game gets away with it. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't think EA cares anything about board games.
It's really sad. It's a really good board game. Seriously, though. Seriously, it is ridiculous.
Why is my necromancer?
A crackpot has entered your
Special title hero is the Raskos' Blood Imp. Anyway, so that's it. Raskos is Imp. Which, if I took my top off, you could actually see.
His jumper.
Yeah, my jumper.
It's on his
not tattooed on my chest or anything.
It's on his t-shirt.
It's on my t-shirt, but I'm not going to take my top off. Question.
A ghoul
Are all the
has
recruitable
risen in
units
your
revealed?
crypt.
Is there anything to see, like, for the Empire? I think everything's revealed
Ghoul
now.
has been raised in your crypt.
Yeah, every unit has been
Minions have
revealed,
researched us in for you.
apart from certain boss.
Yes, every unit apart from bosses. Correct.
Yeah.
The AI's name is Josh's Smasher. Thanks, Stefan.
Josh Smasher.
You are the best.
A cultist has entered your dungeon.
Tapping away at that.
I think the AI's name should be Stephen Fright. It's such a good name. It's such a
A
good
stag has
name.
entered your dungeon.
Right. So yeah, everything's been revealed, and in next year we're going to be updating our game page as well, which will have a lot of the reveals of more information. But that's something I'll be working on in the next few weeks.
A nun has entered your dungeon.
So, questions? Will there be in-game chat in the multiplayer mode? Definitely.
A
Definitely.
shadow has entered your dungeon.
Question. Have you thought about what DLC you want to do yet, seeing as WFTO World is meant to be released about February?
We have thought.
We have fought. And fought. And
That's
pondered.
about it, though. We haven't
Yeah.
really decided anything.
The core game is all important right now. There's no space
A
for
nothing has
us
entered your
focusing on
dungeon.
DLC, because that would be rather silly when the game is not done. So yeah, and of course there are the flex goal ones that will be voted on by our backers when the backer page goes up.
It's like really ominous. The edge of the world.
Yeah, so yeah, there's that as well. So I'm going to convert every bard I come across. It says Inushki. Good to know.
I love being invisible.
User 322222222 asks again, what will happen when you get disconnected from the game during multiplayer? You're able to rejoin.
You won't be able to rejoin.
No. Too complicated.
And no sin is available to you.
It's really,
Does he know you're there?
I don't know.
I think he's dropping units on you because he knows you're there. He just can't do anything about it.
A ghoul has risen in your crypt.
Cheating AI. Yeah. Now, I really like your questions, User 3222. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. You asked some very good ones.
How much damage can we do if we die?
Ernoski asks, will there be cowardly units that try to run away if they're losing? Every unit has flee conditions. Mainly...
Didn't do very much.
Nope. Too bad, Josh. So, units will run away if there is no chance of them winning combat. I think at the moment flee conditions are repressed a bit because we were having them run away too much in the campaign. But that's going to be worked on. All the AI is very placeholder at the moment. Stefan has his work cut out for him when he's not designing AIs that single-handedly beat Josh without even trying. If it came and attacked you, yeah, it knows.
It knows.
It must know. Okay. Crackpot is going to do a dungeon.
It just started lighting on me.
Timonius.
How did it see me? Maybe I had a pink ward.
Timonius asks, please tell me we will hear more of Raskos voice
Has
acting.
entered your dungeon.
If you remove the level, no one will be able to hear that amazing voice.
Raskos is going to be in the main campaign.
Raskos is in the main campaign. He is a major character.
He is the most prominent underlord aside from the player.
Yes.
This is another bug, by the way. When a worker dies, it remains counted here. So apparently I have 35 busy workers.
I was wondering what that was, because I had a load of workers that I couldn't do anything with, and now I know.
Sin has been
Now
researched.
I know. Yeah, so Rascals will be appearing in the main campaign. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that. Also, the fantastic voice talent is Stephanus Rex, and he also voices Lord of Healand, and I think he did he do Sir Ruzimoff as well? He did Sir Ruzimoff as well. So practically all the voices you've heard that aren't Richard are all Stephanus Rex. At this moment in time. Scorpmaster, how does spawn rate work? Is it better to build multiple small rooms or one big room? Spawn rate works off the amount of props you have. So, multiple small rooms, doesn't matter. It's all about the props. Big room, small room, props. Regardless of where you have them. Richard Ridings just radiates cool.
A shadow has entered.
Personal preference for his more gruff DK1 voice. There's a story about that. Do you want to tell the story about the DK1 voice, Josh?
What?
The gruff voice for DK1? That totally wasn't Richard Ridings?
No, that was Dean Carter.
Dean Carter? Dean Carter?
Dean Carter.
Dean Carter, yeah. The voice that you hear in game in DK1 is not Richard Ridings. He's in between each level as the narration, but other than that, it's not Richard throughout most of the game.
Defense complete.
Yeah. So there's that little interesting tidbit of story. Question, is the relative power of units offset by the challenge of keeping them well in your dungeon, i.e. monster management? So the main one which has special conditions keeping him is the vampire, who we've mentioned earlier. We actually showed he will eat your units in order to maintain himself. He will eat imprisoned units first. If he's got no units, then yeah, that's what you'll get. And overused chew toy, I just answered that, but you're a little bit behind us. Question.
Has entered your dungeon.
Can you make a game like Theme Hospital Next lol? Joking, but would be cool if you made more Bullfrog type games. That would be pretty cool. Question, will there be setup options when playing a skirmish game, like impenetrable claimed walls, number and type of creatures, and gold value, for example? Yeah.
Has entered your dungeon.
Question, are you planning to add the notification panel? Yes,
we'll be showing the UI.
We'll be showing the upcoming UI art for that. Matter of fact, very soon. Okay, vampires sound immensely cool. Yes, they do. Okay, now we're back onto this screen at last. Question, will there be any special conditions for keeping the super units happy? They sound amazing and seem like something you might need to work out to keep loyal.
No, you've got to keep them alive, but they require a sin to summon, so the currency that you spend on looking things will maybe be able you actually spend one to summon an individual super unit if you only have one at once, and if it dies you have to spend another one to actually get it back. Victory! Take that, Stefan!
Now you have to download the updated version.
Ah, that sounds like a bad idea.
So yeah, super units, they cost a sin to summon, which means you'll have less sin to spend on other things. Bearing in mind that sin generation is slowed the more you've generated. So yeah.
Oh, there's a campaign name of a campaign level there. You can guess what it's about.
Smoke and mirrors. What could that be about? Question, says Anoski. You say the rooms are all about props. Will there be war props like in older DM games? Like, for example, the archery targets and training rooms. when I add 3 tile broken wall sections. Would you like to explain your decision, Josh?
Sorry.
Wall props.
Wall props. Okay, so several reasons why we decided not to go with wall props. First one is a sort of clarity standpoint. One of the hardest things for a new player to understand with this type of game is how rooms actually lay themselves out within the world. Something you'll notice we've done is add the prop preview, so when you're dragging out, you can... sorry, let me just start a new build, and then I'll continue talking.
It's very taxing.
Yeah. Yes, so something you'll notice we've done is we added the prop preview, so when you're actually building a room, you can see the props appear. So we're trying to address that and make that more accessible. Adding more props back in just makes that a bit more complicated, and it's not exactly necessary. Secondly, is camera angle. You can only see wall props on... Basically, you can only see 50% of wall props at any point in time. So, along with the rules of wall prop placement being quite ambiguous compared to the floor props, you actually don't see half of them at any point in time. You have to like rotate your camera around, and we don't like the idea that everything in the game you can see at any camera angle at the moment. Rotating the camera angle is never necessary. It's just, you know, looks cool.
Unless the unit is right below a wall.
Yeah, but even then you get a unit shield.
It's true.
Props don't like have that. They're sort of part of the environment.
This is also the same reason why there are no traps mounted on walls.
Exactly. Second major reason, I guess the third, is balance. So, say a room costs 900 gold. Sorry, 100 gold per tile. To get a single prop, it costs you 900 gold on the 3x3 area. However, for that same 900 gold, if you put walls around it, you would get 4 props, assuming, of course, you have a corridor going into it. So, essentially, it removes like a huge amount of the economy balance within the game in maps where you're not able to build rooms with walls because either there's loads of islands or whatever other reason. So, that's bad. The third and final reason is that we wanted more, fourth and final reason, is that we wanted more artistic freedom in how we actually set out the walls. Like a lot of the art work that we've got done on our walls wouldn't really be possible if we were having to actually factor props into it. And, sorry, there is a fifth reason.
There's a lot of reasons for this.
And the fifth reason is that a lot of the props in a lot of our rooms are just too intricate to put on walls. Examples being the alchemy lab, right? You know, all the user feedback that's required for that, you know, seeing into the cauldron and all the extra click interactions, that's just not something we could factor into a wall prop and actually fit it there. Stefan told me to cancel and pull again. So rude.
Damn it, Stefan.
So yes, wall props. We decided against it for many reasons. I mean, we agree, they're cool, and they seem fun, but, you know, when you distill it down, they aren't particularly good for the game overall, so that's why they're not there. I have no idea, like, where on earth we are in the questions, Lee.
Yeah, I've had to go back because you took so long to answer that question.
Sorry. I think I crashed the game. Oh, no.
10th Happy Doom, you asked, can creatures free prisoners of war? Yes. No.
I want to do that. So I think at the very least we're going to have it when you claim a prison, it will free everything inside it.
Everything that belongs to you, hopefully.
Everything.
Because they could also.
Well, for example, I think it would be cool where if you claim a prison, well, everything inside it converts to your side. I think that might be cool because you've liberated them.
Yeah,
exactly. I think
I could see that, but you're also looking at, for example, there could be Empire units in there.
Well, this is mainly a multiplayer thing, so maybe we won't have that happen for multiplayer for Empire units. But that would mainly be a multiplayer thing. I can't think of many examples where that's going to be happening in the campaign, where there would be Empire units in a prison already, unless they had been converted.
User 322222222. Are you planning to add heart core health value, maybe in percentage? That's already displayed in the UI in the top right-hand corner.
Actually, whilst we're doing this, we can.
Oh yeah, show them the UI stuff. That'd be a good idea. Make sure you're actually broadcasting it as well.
Yeah.
And I see River's already answered that as well. Question from the Scorp Master. Is the illusory wall still planned?
No.
What was the illusory wall?
I'll talk about it after the UI. So, changes here. Primary change. Unit grouping has been moved to the left-hand side. It is much cleaner and cooler and better in every way possible. We've added these context-sensitive rally flags, so certain rally flags will only appear when certain conditions are met. So we have the Beast rally flag, for example, which will only appear when you have Beasts or a Beast Den. Only attracts Beasts, doesn't do anything else. We have the Wraith rally flag, which only appears when you're using the Uprising ritual. We have another one for Ember Demons, and then there's a final one. Is there one more?
Sorry?
I think there's one more.
Oh, was it well.
There is another one, I can't remember.
What have you done?
Beasts, Uprising, Ember Demons.
I don't think there is. And that's it.
Maybe it is. Okay. And then we have these groups. Groups are now called warbands. We have decided to rename them because groups didn't sound cool. You can have up to 5 warbands, and you can add units to warbands. And this little thing here will expand it out, and you can see all the individual units you put in the warband, as well as having options to disband the warband and add units to the warband and remove units from the warband and other various things. You also see that we sort of generally have cleaned up the stonework over the UI because we wanted to sort of bring out the detail on the buttons themselves and the focus on the buttons, which was missing before. There was quite a lot of detail in the stonework, so we just sort of distilled that out a bit. We're moving the interaction part of rituals down to the bottom panel. Although it's kind of cool having it at the top, it just didn't make a huge amount of sense. Like, we're still going to have the progress bar at the top because that's cool, but the interaction at the top was inconsistent with everything else. So we're actually going to end up having 8 tabs down here. So we have rooms, spells, potions, defenses, units, rituals. This is artifacts. It's actually going to be orange, not turquoise. Sorry, that's constructs, which is going to be orange, not turquoise, and then we can have an artifacts one as well, which will be turquoise, which isn't shown here yet. Now we've got the various parts of the notification panel up here. So this is objectives, which is obviously empty and not really done yet. This is what we call status icons or status icons. I don't know. Depends on your accent, I guess. So this is going to show stuff like rituals or shrines or sort of map-wide effects, maybe mutators that are active. So these are sort of persistent things that we were considering including in notifications, but we thought didn't really fit because they sort of persist for a set period of time, or they're permanent, or they're like on and off. They're not like an event that happens and then it says this event has happened and it gives you notification. That's when we show a notification like unit has become hungry, unit has entered, unit has left, super unit has died. Those are the kind of things we put in notifications because they're an event that happens and then you get feedback for it. Status icons is going to be stuff like, you know, you own a siege shrine, so it will show you a little icon for the siege shrine, and you hover over it and it says, you know, you have a siege shrine, it gives you X% more damage to walls. And if you get a second one, there'll be a little 2, so it shows you have 2 stacks of siege shrine. You hover over it and it says you have 2, it does this. Same with mana shrine. You know, when you cast a ritual, there'll be a little icon that shows up with a timer. We'll go all the way around, like a little, you can see this one here, it's like a timer going around. If there's any mutators on the map active, there'll be an icon, a single icon, which you hover over, it will list all the mutators. So that's sort of just going to show more persistent stuff. That has a little minimize button here, so you can minimize it down. And then there's a little cog, which you can use to bring up a little menu to hide certain icons or mute certain icons that you don't want to be shown. Notifications is very similar. You can minimize the whole thing, and then there'll be an extra button here which you can use to mute certain types of notifications. You'll be able to mute notifications in different ways, depending on how you want. So you can either mute the pop-ups, you can mute the voice, or you can mute both, or leave them both active. So you can sort of customize that as you want, as you play through the game. The objectives is also going to be minimizable, so you're actually going to be able to minimize all 3 sections of this. So
apparently,
it will just.
I'm not sure. They're saying they can't see it. So it's changed the camera position, but looks fine to me.
Oh yeah, sorry, you can't see the top right.
Ah, okay.
Okay, you haven't. How much was that covering up? It wasn't covering up too much.
No.
These are the status icons, so we did speak about those. The objective panel was mostly empty, so that's okay. And then yeah, we were talking about this below that, which we've covered. But yeah, so all 3 sections of the notification panel are going to be minimizable. So you can minimize it just to 3 small buttons, and then you can expand them as you want to see the information. So although it does seem quite expansive right now, it's not going to be. You can just shut it all down if you don't want it. Everything else is remaining mostly the same. So obviously we have the gold thing here with the payday timer, gold shown here, ritual progress here, sin progress here, mana here, core health here, as along with the core direction. I guess a change we're making is the mana bar is actually going to be at its full length at the start of the game, like visibly at the full length, and then it'll actually sort of be filled with stone, and then as you unlock more mana, it will basically chunk out the stone, so you can sort of visibly see as a new player, you know, this is the max amount of mana I could possibly have, and it sort of empties out, and you can sort of see as you're progressing towards having the maximum amount of mana. Hang on, let me just check that I got Stefan's commit, and then we can do a new build. I don't actually know what he's put in this build. Probably something horrible to kill me. Yeah, that's the newest one. Okay. Right, let's a new build. Yeah, so that's the new UI. Very pretty. There's actually one last thing I wanted to show. I don't know if I have it. Yeah, here we go. So this is the unit portrait for the priestess, which looks really cool. That's something Hugo did the other day.
Fancy.
Yeah.
I'm more interested about the thing about Kevin.
Kevin?
Here's one of Image's suggested things that we should look at. Just said Kevin. I want to know what it was.
No.
Hmm.
No.
Hmm.
Okay, we're probably like really behind on the questions.
We're probably really behind on the questions.
Rapid fire some questions.
Let's have a look. Yeah, now I spent all that time catching up to the. Now it's like so far behind. Question from Paper John: after using Unity to convert this game, do you think you chose the right engine? Would you stick with Unity in the future, or try something new like Godot?
You know, I was reading a message from Stefan.
Me?
Yeah. He says the only reason I won is because the AI wasn't able to pay his minions and they got angry.
Oh, okay.
Not due to my intense skill and knowledge of the game.
Yeah, of course, yes. I don't know.
What was the question, sorry?
Do you think we chose the right engine, or would we consider using something different like Godot?
I have no idea what Godot is.
I don't know what Godot is. Maybe our coders know what Godot is.
If if Unreal 4 existed when we started the project, I would have said Unreal 4 would have been a better option, but it didn't. I think for when we started the project, Unity was the correct option. But now I would say Unreal 4 would have been the better option.
Tough programming questions.
Because it's amazing. And the most important thing is that it's open source for the most part. So you can, you know, fix problems with the engine, which with Unity is not something you can do yourself. You usually have to wait for them to go and fix the issues themselves.
Like Mac OS X.
Yes, like Mac OS X.
Which, if there's any Mac OS X players in the audience today, you'll be happy to know that the game will run a lot better after this next patch.
Yes.
A lot better.
It will indeed.
Thanks to Unity fixing an issue. Eventually.
Okay.
Right, next question. I know this is very early, but every game studio has plans for the future. Have you thought about additional content? Or WFTO 2 or something like that?
We're going to make a game about really amazing accountants.
Yes.
Who fight against the evils of the taxman and the devil himself, Chancellor of the Exchequer, Ed Balls.
Ted Balls.
Ted Balls.
Ted Balls.
The alternate ego
yes.
of Ed Balls.
And the idea is that as you get towards the end of the game, if you have failed to avoid your taxes, he will be more and more powerful.
But if you evade loads of taxes, then the last boss won't have any weapons, because he wouldn't have had any taxes to buy weapons with.
And it will be called the A-Team.
The A-Team for accounting. This is a really good game. You should buy it. We're cancelling War for the Overworld to make our accounting game instead.
War for the Overworld is now cancelled, guys.
Okay, we should stop talking about this now. What's the next real question?
Well, actually, that was a real question. There are thoughts about what we're going to do.
There are plenty of thoughts. There are plenty of thoughts where if we could start again, how we would do things better. You know, even just from a technical standpoint, infinitely, we could have done things so much better from the start to make the game a lot cleaner. But obviously, we're here now. Yeah.
So yeah, thoughts.
But not for now.
Not for now. War for the Overworld is priority.
Indeed.
Kickstarter. Oh my god. Will the minions interact with the items on the walls on their own?
Sorry, what was that?
Like bookshelves in an archive, for example, something like that doesn't affect the game directly, but will add flavour to the movement pattern. Oh, so he's saying like
no, probably not. I mean, the thing is like, although it might seem nice, and it will seem nice, it will look cool. It will look cool, but it will irritate some players because obviously they'll be walking up to a wall and doing, you know, a random animation at the wall, spending time at the wall doing nothing, basically. So that will irritate some players. On top of that, it's just a lot of animation work for a tiny little thing, where at the moment we're sort of wondering, you know, do we want to add animations for when units are being held in the hand, or special animations for them climbing out the gateway, or special animations for when they're stunned? It's like, you know, all these potential things we could spend animation time on. Perusing through a bookshelf is not a good use of that time, basically.
I think perusing through a bookshelf is an amazing use of time. And maybe you can reuse the animation for everything.
Maybe it's a bookshelf full of tax
accounts. Tax accounts! Oh my god! I think we're getting meta now. We're going to have a crossover between the games as well.
Yes. It will turn out...
Level 10 Demon Accountants.
Turn out that Richard Ridings is in fact Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Oh my god, Ted Balls?
Yes.
He's actually Ted Balls.
He is indeed.
It's amazing.
Right, okay. Real questions. Real questions.
Real questions. Okay.
Haven't got long until this build is done.
Have you decided on who the last boss is? Will he be an amazing fighter? Will we know about him, her before the final level? You will know about him, her before the final level. You might know about him, her now. Yes, we have.
It's interesting. It depends what you define as the final boss. I mean, so although the War for the Overworld, off camera, although the War for the Overworld campaign is a self-contained story within itself, it is not the be-all and end-all of the world. There are still antagonists and protagonists, and I need to make sure that you don't see the password like you did last time. Okay. There are still antagonists and protagonists within the world. Some die during the course of the story, yes. You know, but new ones pop up. Some still exist. So, and there are bosses throughout the game, and it really depends. I mean, we don't really want to spoil who lives and who dies, etc., etc. But there is, I guess there is what you could say a final boss, yes. And they're okay. They're not the brightest, chap. But they're there. That's about as much as I'm going to say.
Let's have a look. Question: do you think people actually use the grouping feature? DK had it and I never used it. I think you'll find that that game did not have it. That game had grouping in possession mode only, which wasn't very useful.
So yes, grouping. So grouping has been through several evolutions. The initial evolution was just having the manual grouping with the what we're calling warbands now. The general idea with that was that so you weren't limited to using a single rally flag which rallied all of your units, which sucked basically. It wasn't good. It really didn't allow any micro within the game, and it sort of created the sort of be-all end-all single fight end game scenario, which wasn't that fun, especially in multiplayer. So the first idea to sort of evolve on that was to allow you to manually drop your units into groups to try and sort that out. So you could send a couple to like secure a shrine or an artifact or attack an outpost or something, which it worked okay. I mean, the interface we had for it initially was shockingly bad, so it didn't work fantastically, but the basic mechanics worked. And then we just sort of distilled it down further into specific uses that units have, which separate them out from standard units. And we thought, so what are beasts as an example? Beasts exists purely as like weapons. They don't have jobs within the dungeon. The only thing they can do within the dungeon is eat, sleep, and the arena, fight in the arena. So they fight and they eat and they sleep. That's all they do. So if a fight is going to happen and it's a smaller fight and you don't want to send your whole army, the easiest thing to do is just send your beasts, because that's not going to interrupt any of the economy within your dungeon. So the first thing we thought, okay, we'll add a beast rally flag. And that worked really well. It's really nice. It's in the game already, actually, and it just works nicely. The next thing we thought is, how else can we expand this into other scenarios where you may have groups of units that you want to control independently, like always control independently, not where you may sometimes want to put them into a warband manually. And the two other scenarios, actually three other scenarios we came up with. One is the Ember Demons. So the Ember Demons sort of respawning suicide units. So the idea is you can drop your Ember Demon rally flag, literally inside your enemy dungeon, and your Ember Demons will respawn, run over, do damage, explode, die, over and over and over again. So that's just sort of this thing you can leave there, and it will keep going, and it really sort of makes using Ember Demons a lot more interesting. Next one was Wraiths. So Wraiths is part of the new Uprising ritual. We wanted to have this sort of Army of the Dead feel, where you could, a bit like Lord of the Rings, where you could sort of summon this massive Army of the Dead and send them at your enemy, and they just go. So we separated those out into their own warband, and then the last one was super units. So when you summon a super unit, it will have its own warband. So going back to the initial question, do we feel that most users are going to use the actual grouping? I don't feel most users are going to use warbands, but I think most users are going to use the context rally flags that we added, so the Beast one and the Ember Demon one, because those ones are actually really direct in how you use them, and they just make sense. The warbands are there. I mean, I feel we could get rid of the warbands and the game would be fine, but we added them and they're cool, and they add an extra layer of control for users that want to use them. They're actually going to be hidden, by the way, so there's just going to be that little plus button above the other rally flags. And unless you create a warband, that's all they will. They'll just be hidden. You click the plus button to create a warband. So if you don't ever click that plus, there will be no warbands. I mean, we'll teach the player how to use warbands in the early stages of the campaign, and then we never force them to do it. It's just an option available to them because it's neat, but you never need to do it. And I was like, Another super long answer.
It was a really super long answer to a really simple question.
I know, but
It's like, do you think people are going to use this? Yes, and these are the 7 billion reasons why.
Actually, the answer was no.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? My name is Josh Bishop, and I'm going to talk at you for 20 minutes about something that was really very simple.
Oh, seemingly simple.
Seemingly simple, yes. Okay. Right. Questions. What is the player limit which can play in one game? At the moment, 2.
At the moment it's 2, but it will be 4.
It will be 4. So, there's your answer. Quick, simple. That's all you need to say.
We decided on... No, okay.
Go on, let's tell us all the reasons why.
That for 5 minutes.
Why 4 players is the best number of players that we could possibly have. Okay. Oh my god, this is so long ago. Besides the super units, is there anything else you can repeatedly purchase using sins?
Not at the moment. I wanted to potentially investigate adding the option to purchase artifacts with sins. But I don't know how I feel about that. It's very unimportant. It would only affect multiplayer, so we might look at it later. I mean, it's an option to look at. We don't know yet.
Indeed. Why is there a non-corrupted priestess image?
Huh. This is a very good question.
Wow.
Interesting that you should ask this. We don't know, actually, do we, Lee? I think that's the correct answer. We don't know. We couldn't answer that.
No.
We should be more careful.
A little bit more careful. About the patch, do we have an exact release date before the end of the year?
The 31st of December or sooner. December has 31 days, yes.
Yeah, it does. There is a 31st of December this year.
Probably much sooner, though.
Hopefully sooner. And on the patch testing branch as early as next week.
It's probably going to be this weekend for patch testing.
As early as next week.
Something about the patch. We said it will have levels 1 to 3. It's going to be levels 1 and 2. 3 is going to be the next patch. Basically, we didn't want to rush everything. We want everything in the patch to be relatively solid. So instead of having 3 iffy levels, we wanted to have 2 solid levels. We'll bring 3 in for the next patch.
It's the exact release date. We did that one. Okay, not going to address that one from Timonius. How you guys have talked, it sounds like you're unhappy with parts of development. I think everyone has something that they're not happy about in the development process. There's always places that you can improve, and the important thing is learning your lessons.
Yeah, I mean, we were highly inexperienced. We're now just inexperienced, I guess you could say. We have learned a lot. It's not so much that we're unhappy with. I don't know. I mean, we're just.
There are things we could have done better.
Yeah, that's basically it. There are things we could have done in a more efficient way, and better.
I mean, if you read, for example, the year in retrospect post that we did at the start of this year.
Yeah, and I think it's probably safe to say that if we knew everything that we know now when we started, the game would be done now. Probably a month or 2 ago. But we didn't know that now, so that's just how it is.
And hey, we're still here, and we've learned from that, and the next time we make a game, which will be whenever, and as we're working on future War for the Overworld content, then we're going to take those lessons forward. So yeah, there are things that we could do better, and the things we're going to do better. Will we be able to convert the bosses of the level? I don't think so. No, they die. Sorry.
Tragic. Very tragic.
So tragic. It's a tragic story. It's like a.
I'm really tempted to try.
It's a modern Romeo and Juliet.
They're really broken. not do that.
Do it.
Nope.
It's really bad. It's really, really bad.
Okay, you go play through level 1, and I'm gonna do a sandbox and show them some random stuff.
I'm not. What? You can just hear me swearing over there.
Yes.
About how bad level 1 is now. I'm not doing
check
that.
that it works.
It doesn't.
Q18. We just pushed the build. Can you make sure that level 1 works, and then we'll do it on the stream. We'll do a multiplayer game in the meantime, so you're gonna need to patch anyway.
But there's questions. Questions that need answering, Josh.
Okay. We'll stop patch and then we'll finish.
Yeah.
Quick fire questions.
Starting the patch. Quick fire questions. And I already did that one.
In the meantime, I will put 2 AIs fighting each other.
Will there be small cutscenes in the campaign and a small intro?
We are hopefully going to have an intro cutscene. We're probably not going to have cutscenes between levels simply because our budget is infinitely lower than most games are already, especially for a game of this. I think the game crashed. Stefan, your commit sucked.
Stefan, god damn it! This is the AI that beats Josh. It just crashes the game as soon as it starts. It just says, "I win." Yeah, budget infinitely lower than other games.
So, I mean, we could spend money on some cutscenes, which don't add to gameplay, or we could spend money on adding more animations to units, or some extra music, or more voices for the units, or stuff like that. So, we've decided to basically focus as much as we can on the game itself, but we do want to have an intro cutscene at the very least, and maybe an outro cutscene.
Obese Demon, if you're there, I really liked your review. Just putting that out there. Saw it on Steam. Good. Thank you. At Josh, please don't make the tutorial be patronizing.
Oh, the game doesn't work.
As you see it in many games nowadays, please make it like good old days where you had to find out most things on your own and only got a few pointers. That's tricky, that, I think, because the thing about our game is it's not got as much in common with other games. If it was like an FPS, yeah, that would be fine. You know, there are things that we don't want players to have to be on their own about working through, like the Veins of Evil.
Yeah, so, okay. The starting chunk of the first couple of levels is going to be very handholdy. The sort of philosophy we've gone with is that we're gonna front load a lot of the handholdiness within each level. So we're going to introduce some cool mechanics each level. So the tutorial is actually mostly entirely handholdy, but the tutorial, the very first level, is actually going to be really short, like 10 minutes max. It's also a story introduction, I guess, as well. And then you land within the game world after that. And then it's handholdy for a tiny bit at the start. It introduces you to a few new rooms, and then it's like, bam, go. And then you sort of have some freedom. Level 3 is the same. You are introduced to defenses and basic defense mechanics, and it's pretty handholdy. Place a defense, and you get to watch the defense build, and etc., etc. And then again, you get freedom after that to do what you want. So it's all about you know, we have the introduction phase, and then we have freedom after that. And I think that continues on. Level 4 is definitely like that. Level 5 is also like that, and I think level 6 is where it starts. I think level 6 you're pretty free from the start, and from there on you're continuing to be free from the start. But for the first 5 levels, yes, they have a very sort of structured intro sequence, and then freedom after that, as opposed to them being little bits of handholdy the way through and continuously interrupting you with a handholdy sequence. We just wanted to put that all at the start.
And rather than it being all just focused into one massive tutorial level.
Yeah, it would be impossible. I mean, as you saw, we now have 8 little tabs along the bottom. So we need to introduce all those mechanics slowly. There's a lot of stuff in the game.
Yep. I just saw a question, what was it? Will Richard Ridings narrate before the opening of every level because of a certain dungeon management game had some hilariously evil comments?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
I think we're already writing that, probably.
We actually have a nice concept drawing of the world map from.
Oh no, we don't.
Ours truly here, which will appear between every level. And I know if you're like me, that will be one of the biggest things.
Just that piece of paper, just like floating there, like one of those.
It could be drawn by one of your workers.
One of those Steam Greenlight games, which has got like random shit in a Unity scene. It'll just be like this little scanned in.
Well, the great thing is, if we have it just floating there in the middle of the world, you could actually tie that in with the Oculus Rift, and then you can look around at this piece of paper and just be amazed. It'll completely change everything.
Yeah, okay, nothing works. Okay, I'm gonna roll back the game. Give me one moment.
Is there Rivers 4? You asked the question: is there an ETA when it will be released? The full campaign and the full game will be released in February 2015.
We should probably like clarify that, shouldn't we?
Very nearly February 2015.
Okay, we've been saying February this whole time. After speaking with our distribution partners, it's actually ended up being March 6th, which is basically still February.
Yes.
But it's actually March.
It was always going to be late February.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be March. Sorry.
That's just like that's how the stars have aligned with getting all the boxes made and stuff.
Yeah.
And localization done.
And unfortunately, we can't release before our physical. The game will be ready.
But it's basically February.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it's still basically February.
So I suppose we should start saying March now. Sorry. I realise I've probably said to a few of you that it's going to be February this week.
We did even like today. We said it.
Yeah, we said it multiple times. Sorry.
Level 1 may work, but the game doesn't.
Excellent, excellent. I mean, if you look at many tutorials today, it's okay. Yeah, I see. Lenovsky says, are you starting a multiplayer game so you can get an intelligence that you can win against, Josh? Snickers. And then I'm sat here and I'm personally insulted that you think he can win against me.
I can win against him.
That I'm an intelligence less than the Josh Smasher.
He's nothing. He's like playing against a little calculator, and then Stefan's AI is like Watson, and then.
Well, no, I'd be the Manchester.
It's like comparing his little pitiful Windows phone to my glorious iPhone. You see, I don't even. How do you like turn this on?
It's on the side, Josh.
What a terrible device. Which of these many buttons? There we go.
The one at the bottom.
What a terrible thing this is, and then this glorious iPhone. Glorious.
You would think that we've been paid by Apple or something to try and sell iPhones to you.
Apple don't need to pay for advertising. They're the best.
Will there be a way to customize AI and it will make new ones relatively from scratch?
Probably not. You can suggest things to us, and we'll probably. I mean, so it's not actually going to be that complicated. You know, the components that go into creating a personality. The personality is mostly going to be focused around sort of some values that will set up how aggressive they are, how defensive they are, and then the order in which they unlock things. So I don't know. I mean, okay. I don't think we're going to create an editor for that, but we may have like an open dialogue with our community where, you know, they say, we want an AI which does this, and then we'll think, okay, cool, we'll take those ideas and we'll put something together that we think is cool and then put it in the next patch. You know, that should be relatively easy for us to do. And I don't see why we wouldn't do that.
It's interesting that Marados's version is working in ours, isn't it?
He maybe was playing the previous build, because the level was in that build, it just didn't have any VO. How far, are we up to date yet?
We're up to date now. We're actually onto this page. So Solid Turian says, so you're going to take the Valve approach to tutorials. That's always good if you can mimic it. Yes.
Yes.
We agree. It's always good.
Is the game done yet? No.
No.
If you look at the old DM games, it wasn't holding your hand; it was telling you how to do the most basic things. Yeah, I mean that is kind of what we're doing. I mean the reason we're having to go a few steps further is that a lot of our mechanics are actually a bit more in depth. We've added a lot to the genre.
Constructs, rituals, potions.
Yes.
Unit type.
Also, to be blunt, people are less patient and intuitive in general. I mean, pretty much everyone here watching who is going to be a fan of the game, you don't need a tutorial, but there are a lot of people who do. We're trying to, and the reason we're concentrating the tutorialness into such a short period of time is so it doesn't annoy people like you guys. But it still does provide that information to people who need it. Because you literally are going through each action once. You are shown how to do a defense once, shown how to do a construct once, shown how to do a ritual once, shown how to do a potion once. You know, so you're shown all these things once, and in a very direct and clear manner. And then once you're done, you're done. You don't ever get shown ever again, unless it's, you know, something like we show how an underminer works. We show how constructs work in level 3. No, that's a lie. The underminer is the first construct we show. So yes, no, that's correct. We only do a handholdy version of each thing once.
Mm-hmm. It won't keep repeating over and over again how to do something. Once you've done it once, you know. Are you doing a blizzard on us and postponing a postponed game?
This game has been postponed like 6 times already, so yeah, sure.
To be honest, I'm still waiting on StarCraft Ghost. So, you know, as soon as StarCraft Ghost comes out, we'll release War for the Overworld.
Josh was better in Civ Beyond Earth.
No, well, it wasn't.
That would imply that Civ Beyond Earth was a game worthy of time.
And I think you'll find that when me and Josh played a game of Civ Beyond Earth on the stream, I won. Quite spectacularly as well.
26 hours. 455 hours. 26 hours.
The Berserks.
Disappointing.
You and your guys and your team are pretty awesome for making the game. DK was a big part of our childhood, and you guys are awesome for making a different game in your own way with similar things.
It's not a question.
It's not a question. I just thought it was an interesting read.
Which version of Unity? We are currently on Unity 4.6.1 patch 1. We generally keep up to date when we can, unless there's some form of compatibility issue. We are hopefully going to be upgrading to Unity 5 before launch, depending on when they have their first release candidate available. We'll see. We use Git for our source control. I use SmartGit. Some people use SourceTree. IDE, they use Visual Studio, the programmers do. I think some of them, there's like a Unity VS plugin thingy. I don't know. Ask them. Unity plugins, we use Ulink for our networking. That's like probably the main thing we use. Yeah. Coherent for our UI. Actually, it's a pretty major one too. Yeah. Things. Is the safe word banana? Banana's not a safe word because bananas are awful. They're the worst. They're just the worst.
Bananas are alright. Mince pie is much better.
Might be Unity that's causing the crash.
Right, we've got a few questions coming as well. 4 questions in a row. With every creature being important, could this lead to every dungeon having the same kind of creatures? Is there any reward for specialization? The game practically drives specialization, as a matter of fact. There's no way that you could possibly unlock all the sins in a single session, really, unless it goes on for a very long time. So you're going to end up specializing by going down either the raft tree or the sloth tree and putting points in what you want in the middle, whatever that's called. I think it's still called the middle at the moment.
The neutral vein or the central vein, whatever. We don't know. It's something.
So yeah, you'll end up specializing just through your choices.
Where are we?
Sculpt Master near the top.
Okay.
So yes, will the tutorial stop the gameplay to show you how to do things once, or will it explain to you in Flash while the game continues? It explains to you in flashes. We found that rotating slowly around objects is really annoying.
So, yes and no, actually. So, as we were saying, the beginning of levels 2, 3, 4, and 5 are introducing core mechanics to you. So, yes, it does stop the gameplay, but it's during like an interactive cutscene, and then once that cutscene is over, it's sort of the handholdy bit is during the cutscene, and it sort of like just walks you through the basics of how that mechanic works. And then the cutscene ends and the level basically starts. So we're not interrupting existing gameplay to do that. Actually, maybe we do once in level 5 for potions.
Well, I suppose stuff like potions or maybe the way a crypt works, it could demonstrate. I don't know.
Yeah, no, sorry. We do that once outside of level 1. Level 1 is really handholdy, but it's really short. And there's going to be, for players who know what they're doing, there's a nice amount of story there as well, so it's okay.
On release for new players, will there be an upgrade available for Standard Edition to Underlord Edition? Yes.
Yes, there will. In fact, the reason we didn't have that available now is because
the content's not available.
Because the content's not available, basically, yeah. But now that multiplayer is a thing, and you can actually select the theme, we might put it up. I don't know, we just didn't think it looks good to have DLC available for an early access game.
Yeah, it looks a bit odd.
I don't know, we could maybe set it through our website so it doesn't show up on Steam. There's no harm in doing that. Yeah, we can do that. We'll do that.
And just put something on our Steam forums if you're looking to upgrade. Because people do ask about it. People do ask about it for a bit, so... as the game will be playable by 4 players, have you considered releasing a 4-pack on Steam?
Yeah, those are the kinds of things we're going to look at launch, doing a 2-pack and a 4-pack and stuff like that. I
mean, multiplayer is still pretty buggy, and of course it doesn't support up to 4 players yet either. So,
but I think we're more likely to do a 2-pack than a 4-pack. Because I think
2-pack.
I think the game is stronger 1v1 than it is 2v2. Where are we now? Pineapple? What? I have no idea what that is about.
Don't ask me. Blue Fire 4101. You mentioned Beast earlier. Do you think Beasts will take away from the game because they're much less interactive?
No. I really like Beasts because they allow us to do a lot of things. So, okay, there's a lot of things we wanted to do with our units to make them feel like more intelligent and alive, but doing those things prevented us from making, really beastly units, basically. So we thought, let's just have 2 types of units. So we did that, and we have our intelligent units, which are, they get paid, they go and cook food in the tavern, they have jobs, they train, and they're intelligent. They're smart. And then on the flip side, we have our beasts, which are none of those things. They're complete polar opposite. They aren't humanoid in any way. They just do whatever and they kill shit. And I think that contrast is really nice, and it adds a great deal to the game. As opposed to sort of having all of our units trying to fit into this one category, they can sort of be one or the other. It's a lot nicer. Beasts are cool.
Dave Campbell is asking, are we hiring or will you be growing the team in the future? He says he's a UI designer.
We are not looking for that at the near future. The only position we're hiring for right now is
it's web thing?
It's basically a CSS JavaScript HTML developer for our UI. So as you've seen, we've had the next iteration of our UI design. We're just hiring an actual developer to do that because none of our programmers are sort of experienced with front-end web development, which is what our UI is actually running in. It's a Chromium instance in front of the game. But yeah.
So I mean, in terms of hiring, the best place to watch is always watch our website, wftogame.com. If we ever need something, we always put in our latest news updates.
But realistically speaking, for this project, are very unlikely.
Yeah,
because we're pretty much done.
But keep your eye on us in the future. You never know when we might need someone.
Lee, I think we reached the end of the questions.
We have reached the end of the questions at the moment.
Bloody hell.
Which is, it's going quiet. We got questions for people to ask us. So the question is, what do we talk about now? Do we have anything left to show? I mean...
We were going to do a multiplayer game.
We were going to do a multiplayer game, but the game's broken.
Oops.
Thanks, Stefan. Good job.
Okay.
I always read WFTO game as WTF game.
Where's Sammy? Sammy left to eat. He's been here all day, so...
And we kind of like shut the door on him.
Yes, because he was making noise.
Yeah.
So was other people. Yes, unfortunately. You saw Sammy at the start. When do you get to hear the bard? I don't know. We'll see.
When will that be? Who knows?
I think everyone will be pleasantly surprised when they hear the bard's voice.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, so any questions about the game at all? I thought Alistair was a web dev. He is a web dev.
Alistair is a web developer, not a front-end web developer, which is what we needed for our UI.
Emmerich, 86, no. What will you do with cheaters? Do you have any tools to help prevent or detect cheats?
The best thing we have is Steam's thing.
Valve anti-cheat.
Yes, VAC.
So you can get banned from Steam if you're caught cheating.
Which is pretty bad. You lose all of your games.
Scorpmaster, can heroes appear in battle between underlords? In multiplayer, if you capture an Empire gateway, then you will be able to attract Empire units.
Yeah, and they'll be sort of pre-corrupted Empire units, so they'll just be evil. There also sometimes will just be some on the map that you can find and capture and convert.
Yes. I suppose there'll be like Empire dungeons occasionally.
Yeah.
Makes a nice change on the maps. They don't have to catch cheaters. Didn't you see Josh's fight the first game?
Thanks.
It's so bad. It's
Thanks,
so bad.
Remind me to ban you.
Is that your Steam name? Because it's not very hard. I had a friend who's a game developer, and he actually coded it into his game that he would ban people's Steam names who annoyed him. And he
seems reasonable.
Yeah, he seems like a really reasonable person, but he was like, he just coded it in, and he wouldn't tell you at all. It'd just be like, oh yeah, you can't play the game. It was when he was making mods, so it's not like it was a paid for game or anything. But it's Zeverman, there is summonable units in the game. For example, the vampire requires a ritual where you sacrifice multiple units and then continue to sacrifice units to him over his stay in your dungeon. Other ones also require the sacrifice of a sin to attract the super units, which are the Eternal, the Behemoth, and the Archon.
They're pretty overpowered.
I think I was supposed to be banned already when I suggested you to be the bard in the first place.
That was him.
Are you the one who started it? Because it's not stopped since. Not stopped. The vampire will be summoned. No, Josh, no. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Question. No. Be nice. Be nice. Scorpmaster, the speed of the game will stay as it is now.
Some of it will. I want to slow a few things down and speed a few things up. I definitely want to slow research down a bit. I want the initial research to sort of stay at the same pace, but I want it to slow down a bit faster, if that makes sense. I want to slow workers down a tiny bit, not too much. and I want to speed combat up. That's mostly it, I think. Yes.
Paper John, you ask, is there an age rating for this? Currently, it is not rated. It will have to be rated to be sold in physical distribution.
It's probably going to be an 18. I mean,
almost certainly going to be an 18.
One of the first sort of, when you go to get your game rated, they say, does your game contain this, 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 or this, or this? If it does have any of these things, it's an 18. One of the first things on those lists is, do you torture your enemies? Which you do. So.
Now, the question has been asked whether it's comic violence and whether we would get away with it, because it's not particularly visceral. We don't know. Time. Assuming 18 for now. But that's not to say that we've not been to EGX and Res and have, like, 6-year-olds play the game and be amazing.
I mean, it's going to be rated as an 18, but it's not exactly inappropriate.
No.
Like, I mean, you're not...
You probably shouldn't say that.
There's no nudity, really. There's no...
Succubus.
Not really nude. There's the violence is... It's most certainly fantasy violence. I mean, there's a little bit of blood and whatnot, but it's not like... Stop shaking. Sorry. Nervously fidgeting. I will stop shaking the table. I just started shaking it again. Okay.
Good job.
I'll stretch out my legs.
Why are you nervous? I don't know if you're nervous.
I just always fidget. I'm not nervous. I just always fidget.
I just fidget too.
What was I saying? Oh yes. The violence is very much fantasy violence. There may be a bit of language. It's not going to be excessive though. I mean, we're not avoiding swearing entirely, but we're not deliberately swearing at any point.
And the thing about swearing is, who goes through life without picking up swear words? I picked up my first swear words in primary school, and that was pretty late.
Put it this way, unless you're a super prude parent, it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Your kid isn't going to pick up anything terrible from the game.
And as a parent who's into video games, you probably know yourself that it's not video games that cause problems.
WTP 2 is rated at 12? No.
Yeah, it's not possible.
No, that can't be.
Also, don't forget that there is many years of difference between us, and the rating system may have changed in that time.
Yes, politicians decided to be politicians.
But I would also point out that it's only recently that games like the original Doom and Doom 2 have become 12s. And they've been 18s for a very long time. And they're still 18s in countries such as Germany. So... is there going to be any big lore behind the main story, and will there be any additions to it in the future? We have answered this question earlier on in the stream.
The Underlords are really bad and mean.
Yeah.
That's basically
and the Empire's pretty good, mostly.
They're really boring, though.
Yeah.
You're just there to, to try and make them have some fun.
It's just there to make them have some fun. You're throwing a party.
Of death.
Party for the overworld.
Party of death.
Rave for the overworld.
Indeed.
No, yeah, there's a running lore through the story, and it is something that can be potentially expanded on in the future.
Yes.
Is the short answer. If you want to have the long answer, you'll have to look earlier in the stream. When we upload the video on demand, not like earlier right now, because we're broadcasting live and it doesn't work.
Rewind. I think my phone has that app.
There's an app for that. Stop shaking the table, curl your toes, die hard. What?
Telltale Games to expand upon the Wolf of the Overworld story with the Unity-based dungeon. No, that's not the case yet.
Yet, maybe when we're buying like $85 million mansions.
Oh, like Notch's new
Hills.
house, bloody hell.
That'd be nice. I think I could go for an $85 million.
$17 million.
Whatever. Whoa, difference of a couple of $1 million there.
It's fine. You got millions from Microsoft. I wonder how much tax he had to pay on that. If only he had action accountants to dodge tax.
Action accountants.
Did you enjoy the Game of Thrones Telltale game? I did. It was fucking amazing.
I've not played it.
It was so damn good.
Is it? Do you think I should play it?
Yes.
I'm sure you noticed. Josh is a massive Game of Thrones fan. If you read the news on Wednesday, oh my god, it was like every single.
So initially the post was titled "Winter is Coming," and then I added in the "Growing Strong," and I thought, hang on, I'm going to rename the post, and I'm just going to put all of the house mottos in the body text of the post. Well, that was kind of fun. I think we may have missed a few.
Oh, we have. You won't make the Underlords good at heart, but rejected by society, will you?
No.
Well, we're not making them. That's how they are.
They're just evil, evil bastards. I mean, they are evil and dedicated to chaos. Whereas Kira, who is the goddess of the empire, and her underlings, they're all dedicated to order and good. So it's very much an order versus chaos, which manifests itself as good versus evil.
Yes. The Underlords are manifestations of something much, much more interesting. If the story is still what I remember it to be. It changes all the time. All the time. It'll be very interesting, I'm sure. What will the max size of multiplayer maps be? The map you guys played earlier, how does that compare? The map we played earlier is called Mini.
I think our technical max size is 256 by 256. A map that size will cause performance problems and is ridiculously massive. Like, it's obscenely big.
Yeah.
However, you know, map sizes of 100 by 100 will probably be around the average. That's big enough for 1v1, very much so. Yeah. I think the one we were playing was about 80 by 80 or something similar to
yeah,
that. Maybe
very small. And actually, I said it's very small. 80 by 80 is the size of the very first Dungeon Keeper game. I think it might have been 80 or 80 by 80 or 85 by 85, and the second game up that to 120 by 120. With a minimum size of 64 by 60. Is Dante still with you? He is still with us. He's not with us here.
I think he's asleep.
Probably be asleep, yeah. But yeah, Dante and his amazing voice is still with us, and he's our sound designer. One of two.
In fact, Dante is voicing levels 1, 2, and 3 right now. It's placeholder VO because we aren't able to organise a Richard session until next year, and we wanted to get the levels in and people being able to play them. So, yeah, currently he is doing placeholder VO. Are you guys tired? Yes. Are you guys still remote or in an office? We are still remote. Lee is just here for a few days for various reasons, this and some other ones. This is the closest we have to an office at the moment.
He answered the other's question as well.
Oh, no. He's copying a question here.
Oh, okay. I see what you did, Alistair. Alright.
Does the mana scale according to the size of the map, in order to power enough defenses? That's something I wanted to look at. I ended up deciding against it, mainly because mana is really... I want it to be quite a predictable mechanic, and currently it is. It scales with sins. And sort of the reasoning behind that is on a larger map, you're going to have more time to earn more sins before you encounter your opponent, therefore you're going to have more mana before you encounter your opponent, and therefore more space. More mana to build defenses with. On top of that, larger map means more gateways, which means more units, which means you can defend your dungeon better using units. So no mana scaling with map size.
Binning asks, is there hope for 5 or 6 players after release? Wife and 3 kids needs 5. First of all, amazing that you're a family of Underlords. It's pretty impressive. Keep fighting the evil fight. I think technically it'll be difficult. That's the main thing. I would love to see it. Never count anything out, but...
Well, actually, no, here's the thing. Technically, that's not so much of an issue to have that many players within the game.
map designs, though.
The technical issue is, in order to have a map to support that, it would need to be big, and it would end up there just would be too much in the map, and it wouldn't run well. It would just get really sluggish.
Yeah.
So that's why we're sort of limiting it at 4, because that's sort of the maximum we can hit while still keeping the game experience good.
What about, like, I don't know, a survival mode with 5 to 6 Underlords in the middle?
All playing the same dungeon.
All playing this.
6 lords, 1 dungeon.
6 Lords, 1 dungeon. Good God.
I guess potentially.
Because I suppose there's a possibility for some sort of co-op mode, yeah. But it'd be...
We'd only plan for 2 players in co-op mode. I don't know. Well,
I don't mean like the co-op.
I mean, you could do 2 lords, 1 dungeon with still with 4 players within the map. Maybe I'm not sure.
2 Lords, 1 dungeon with 4 players, which means
8 players.
8 players.
So there's a feature that we want to add to the game. It's not going to be in at launch. We don't know if it will ever be in the game, but it's something we want to do. We call it 2 Lords, 1 Dungeon. For anyone familiar with StarCraft, they totally copied us. They're adding it in Legacy of the Void. It's Archon mode. Basically, it's 2 players controlling a single faction. We may add it at some point. It's something we wanted to add for a while because of sort of the various complex mechanics we've added. It's the kind of thing where 2 players can very legitimately control a single faction, where either you're going in and you're possessing, or you're, one player's focusing on digging and building, the other one's defending, or,
You say they copied us. However, that feature is actually in StarCraft 1.
Well, whatever.
And it was called TV
I was
Melee.
joking. I know other games have had...
No, you're not getting away with this.
Other games
that was in StarCraft 1. The fact that they're claiming it's a new feature for StarCraft 2 is just a feature that they removed from the original.
Yeah. Well,
that nobody knew about, mind you, but it was really cool because you could actually play with multiple different workers for the faction as well. Single player. So.
Dante intro for the wins. How much will possession be expanded? You'll be able to use all the units' abilities. There'll be health bar, stuff like that. Everything.
I think it's. Is it planned now to make a unit a little bit better while you're using it?
No.
No. Okay.
Will there ever be 1 or 2 dungeons? Yes, you defeat your opponent and take their dungeon.
Yeah, I guess that's how it works. Why would you have that, Tom? Did I miss Tom?
Tominius is asking why you would do that.
Oh, well, when you beat the other Underlord, that's when you do it.
Ernos, I don't even. I'm calling you Erno. I don't like you. You're so bad at the game that you'll never have 2 dungeons. Erno. Yeah.
Wow. Harsh words. Harsh
we
words.
don't like him.
We don't like him.
Are you on our forums? What's your forum username?
Apparently we don't like you. No. My boss says we don't like you, so we don't like you. Say if one of your cores is wrecked, you ain't finished. You ain't finished, son.
Well, you are finished. You're dead.
You could always get a Eternal.
But if your core is already dead, then you're dead.
Maybe you could have an Eternal turn into a core when your core dies.
That's a terrible idea.
That's an amazing idea.
If the Eternal is alive when your core dies, then you're doing something seriously wrong.
Yeah, the game's bugged because the core can't die when the Eternal's alive.
That takes 90% reduced damage.
90% reduced damage.
You can die.
Will there be a game mode called 2 Underlords, 1 Dungeon? Okay, I suppose we're not going to get the game working again tonight.
No.
No. Right, shall we say 5 more minutes to ask your last questions?
Yes.
Yeah, and then Josh can go to sleep. 5 more minutes, guys. We'll answer as many questions as we can. So yeah, anything that you think's really pressing, we'll be getting dancing minions because Disco Inferno, baby. There was a bug that caused dancing minions at one point. That was quite a while ago now. That was like version 2.0, 0.2. Dancing minions. Dancing minions on payday.
Dancing minions. I mean, see, that's the thing. It's so expensive from an animation standpoint because of how many units we have. It's like, it would be hilarious, like, once or twice, but from, like, a value add to the game, there are other things that add a lot more value.
Did you have contact with the original DK teams along with Peter Molyneux? Did they give you any advice, any feature they would like to have added, to implement in these games? Yes?
Yeah, so Peter Molyneux, obviously, from the video. Some other team members, David Amell, who worked on the Dungeon Keeper 2 campaign. David Amell, actually, he now works with my dad. Small world. Also, Simon Carter, we spoke to briefly. He was one of the programmers on the original. Who else? There was one of the designers on Dungeon Keeper 2.
We met some guys
who had interesting hair.
Met some guys from the Tearaway team who...
I think it was Mike Mann, maybe his name. I don't know. Yes, a couple. Peter Molyneux actually specifically really liked the idea of survival mode. Which is cool.
Are your characters animated with bones?
Yes. Especially the ghoul.
Funny. Are there any unique creatures in the campaign besides the bosses?
No.
No. Nope. Lord Eartheland. So Rusamov. Do we know any other names? That won't give anything away.
It's probably a dwarf.
Probably a dwarf.
1 or 2, maybe 3. I don't know.
Do we have any elves?
No. We were originally going to have elves, but there was only one elf unit that we were going to put in, and we did it. We did the art for it and everything, and we thought this is a really bad representation of elves for our world. So elves exist within the game world. They aren't going to be in the base game, but they are maybe something you see in DLC. When we introduce elves, we want to introduce them properly with sort of at least 2 or 3 different elf units.
Heembond, how do I unhear that ghoul joke? The answer is you definitely don't get a job at Subterranean Games because that's what you'll hear all the time.
We have to compete for who can make the worst jokes. Especially with Scott, one of our Australian. He is the master of shitty jokes.
So all he gets is Australian prison jokes all the time.
Yeah, instead of a swear jar in our office, when we eventually get an office, we will have a bad joke jar. Whenever you make a terrible joke, you have to put money in that jar.
Will we ever get to see all the concept art you have made in production of the game? I bet it would be cool to look at. Yeah,
we're going to put a lot of it in our the Dungeoneer's
Guide to the Underworld.
That's sort of like a PDF art book-y, story-lore-y, thingy book thing. Mix of various things. That's going to have a bunch of concept art in it. There should also be some concept art on our website once we start adding unit pages and stuff.
Yeah. I would personally like to tweet some of it as well.
Yes. I mean, also, if you go back through our Wednesday post, there's a lot of concept art. I mean, to be fair, there isn't much as you were looking for production art. It's very much all sort of final concept art.
You can also find some old concept art in the thread, the archive on our forums, which has some very old concept art.
It's a very dusty old thread now.
It is a very dusty old thread. I've not updated it in a while, and it is going to be replaced by the game page. So it's one of these things that's not worth updating anymore.
So you got no plans for after War for the Overworld? You say you got ideas. We have loads of ideas for ways to expand War for the Overworld, and loads of ideas for future games. Too many, in fact. But at the moment, we just need to focus on getting the base game done, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do. I mean, we definitely want to add a couple of things to War for the Overworld, like, for definite. You know, like a proper survival mode, you know, proper well done survival mode with all the trimmings is something we want to add. There are some extra story content we want to add, which isn't going to be part of the base game. So I mean, yes, there will be extra content for the Overworld. Future games, too many ideas. No idea what we're gonna do, to be honest.
Can the first DLC be Disco DLC? The first DLC is actually Democon armor.
Yes.
It's a fact. When will we get the Bard singing? Hopefully never. But when the Bard is voiced...
The AI is called the Josh Smasher.
The AI is called the Josh Smasher. Because it has smashed Josh multiple times. And he only won by cheating. So...
I didn't cheat.
You did cheat.
It's so efficient and maybe so blitzkriegi.
Will you possibly be using Kickstarter or similar for future games?
Maybe. It depends on the game. I mean, Kickstarter is great when you use it correctly and you communicate with your customers correctly. Early access, again, is great if you handle it correctly. A lot of people don't handle it correctly, and both of these things have quite bad reputations because of that. I feel that we have done it very well.
Again, there are things we could have done better.
There are things we could have done better. But it depends on the game. You know, if we feel like we need the money, if we feel like we think that's a good way to announce the game, we don't know what the game is yet.
I think if we were to use Kickstarter, it would be much later into the development cycle of the game.
Yes, that's the one thing that would be most certain, is that we would be far further along than we were with War for the Overworld.
So what you'd expect is actually something that is demonstrably there, whereas War for the Overworld wasn't. We did a lot for it, certainly, and I think that was one of the things that made our campaign stand out. But yeah, if we did do it, you would actually see something present and some clear evidence. I mean, and on top of that, we'd also have the record of releasing a successful War for the Overworld. Like, we'd done a successful campaign before, so maybe.
Will the team stay together for any future projects? Yeah, some of the team might stay together. We'll see.
You pronounce like better than Josh. I don't know who you're speaking to. Like?
Well, I think there's only two people speaking, so he must be speaking to you.
How do you pronounce like?
Like.
Like.
I'm confused.
Ghouls. Suboptimal doesn't exist in Germany. That's true. I know. How did different kind of doors? How about different kind of doors? There's actually...
We have wooden door, portcullis, Midas door, and glacial door. 4 doors.
And they all work in different ways. They all have different advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah, they're not
apart
just
from the wooden door, which is sort of like...
Well, that's just basic door, but we don't just have like a door and then a door with more health.
Yeah. No, they all have special things that they do. Signed up for the newsletter, but yet to get one.
Oh, newsletter, January. We'll be starting that.
Everything's in January. Backer site, game page.
Yeah, we're doing a proper push with our website in January. We're going to start the ball rolling on actually like marketing the game, which we haven't really been doing yet.
About potions, can they be dropped anywhere? What about the wormhole potion? It has to be within your area of influence.
Yeah, all potions have to be. They can only be dropped in your area of influence. That's the consistent rule for all potions.
Yeah. It's got the same rules as dropping a unit.
Yes.
So
when will we be expecting to vote for Elf Master Race Flex Goal? There is no Elf Master Race Flex Goal. Elves play their games on consoles.
As a matter of fact, the vote is going to be between 2 features.
One of which will have
multiple options.
A sub vote, but there's two main. So we all know that the Illuminati obviously controls sub-training games. We all know why, because you take the heart and subtract the workers and multiply by the amount of windows in Josh's house.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
What? I'm really confused.
But when will you upload the virus that takes over everyone's mind through the headsets?
When Horny breaks through the walls of the internet into War for the Overworld.
Will we hear Dante's voice in game? Yes. You'll hear Dante's voice in game very soon.
Yeah. So Dante, as we said earlier, he's done placeholder VO for Richard for the first 3 levels at the moment. Just as we're still working on them. He's also going to be voicing various other characters in the game. As we mentioned, we're like a lot earlier. We're doing unit VO very soon. So each unit's going to have their own VO. And Dante will also be voicing some Empire characters and possibly one of the Underlords. I think the one in level 4, maybe.
Will there be merchandise Golden Chunder statue?
Uh,
I was actually saying to Josh today that we should get Golden Chunders outside of our office, just to flank the wall, the door, to keep us safe.
Can we end the live stream?
And then we could get gargoyles as well and have them shoot lasers at people who approach. We'll be the safest office in the world. It'd be amazing. Dave Campbell, will the level success of the game after release have any effect on your future plans? That's certain. Any company will always, well, if the game's incredibly successful, it'll make our next project much easier to do. It'll affect our scope for the next project, and it'll affect how long we're going to continue supporting War for the Overworld. Our plan is to support War for the Overworld for as long as it's financially viable for us. So if War for the Overworld is incredibly successful, we're going to continue supporting it.
From our golden yacht.
Yeah.
Our golden yacht, which will actually be a chunder, like flip round. It'll be all...
What, and we'll just be on his ass?
No, it'll be on the inside.
We'll be on the inside?
It's front facing.
Okay, fair enough. So, yeah, of course it will affect us. Obviously, our hope is that War for the Overworld will be successful. And that will allow us to continue making games and making War for the Overworld, because that's what we want to do.
If I'm signed up to Kickstarter, will I get an email from Kickstarter and or you stopping Kickstarter newsletters? So, they are going to be independent from each other for a while. Once the game releases, we will stop doing Kickstarter updates on a regular basis. We might do once every couple of months, saying, you know, this is what's happening, or hey, we've released the DLC, or whatever. So we're going to slowly, starting in January up until release, we're going to basically transition from our Kickstarter updates to the newsletter. One of the main reasons is that the Kickstarter update editor is one of the worst things that could possibly exist ever. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just the worst piece of software that exists.
I've never seen a website that couldn't do bullet points.
Yes, they actually recently, all bullet points were removed from all of the updates.
Oh, across the whole of Kickstarter?
They probably are back now, but
probably.
It was just like bizarre. It's just bad.
But for example, every time we do a War for the Overworld Wednesday, we copy the text across.
Oh, and it just removes all formatting.
The Kickstarter one is the only one that essentially pastes it in plain text and no formatting, and the entire thing just scrunched together. Like, it removes all the line breaks and everything. It's so terrible. You have to go through it, and
it's the worst.
We spend a lot of time on that. How will you be able to form a proper retreat from an attack on an enemy dungeon? I recall mention of has a spell, has a cast duration.
If you've attacked an enemy dungeon and you've flagged up, you are going to lose your units mostly. There is risk involved when you go and attack an enemy dungeon. So, once you're in the enemy dungeon, yes, getting out is going to be quite hard. When you're on neutral territory, it's going to be easier somewhat, because getting out is going to be easier because they can't cast spells or whatever on you. So you can just rally away, and your units should retreat, especially if they're on the back foot. They're less likely to actually engage. Yeah, no, recall is specifically not meant to be used in combat. I mean, that's why it has the cast time that's interruptible. Recall exists because we remove the ability to pick up your units outside of your territory. That's why recall exists. Something about golden chunders. Okay. Micro chickens are stalking your dungeon. No, it's micro piglets are stalking your dungeon.
No, micro chickens will stalk our dungeon.
Right. You know, maybe the Empire slaughter pen should have chickens instead of piglets.
Maybe. Will it be possible to play a dungeon with only corrupted Empire? Will there be a corrupted Empire theme?
Yes,
That'd
and
be
yes.
kind of cool.
As long as you don't build a beast, then I guess. But yes, if you only so there is an Empire equivalent for every unit that does a job for the Underlord. Every summon unit, obviously not. So, you know, Ember Demons or Beasts or Ghouls or whatever there are. Oh, actually, Ghouls are replaced by Sentinels, but or Frostweaver Wraiths. Those they don't have Empire equivalents. But every unit that comes out of the gateway, the normal gateway, yes, there's an Empire equivalent for that. So as long as you only claim an Empire gateway, then yes, you'll only get Empire units. And yes, you can use Empire themes. There is going to be a dark, sort of like an evil version of at least one of the Empire themes. We don't know about the others yet. We'll see.
And by that we mean there's multiple Empire themes. But
yeah, there
you
are
already
multiple Empire
know
themes.
that.
And you will unlock. You'll be able to unlock all the Empire themes throughout the campaign. Apart from one, the Arcane Fortress theme. You get that by partaking in early access. Basically, every early access customer gets that for free.
And anyone who purchases a physical copy.
Oh yeah, add it on a physical copy.
Yes, because that's what it was made for. Yeah.
If I click on a unit enough, will it say funny lines? No, because you'll pick it up.
Maybe it'll be annoyed at you for picking it up.
Yes. Right. I think we're going to go.
Yeah.
Unless anyone has any last questions.
You have 1 minute to ask us questions. Starting now. Time at 5 minutes past 10, we'll be closing down the stream. So thank you for watching, everyone.
It's 5 minutes past 10.
Not by my phone.
By my superior Apple timed watch.
Apple timed watch.
Indeed.
Apple time is incorrect.
Fine.
I'm just here to say, great work so far. The game really becomes more and more awesome. Thank you. Can't wait to play the game. Thank you.
Will there be an uninstall feature? Yes.
No.
Through Steam. Why is Josh so ugly? You are in the same pool as that other guy.
That other guy whose name I don't even care to recall.
Precisely. Right, we're going now.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Continue waving. Continue waving. Continue waving.